So I saw somebody in one of those collector critique submissions do what you did with the dioders in the Billies, but double link them. Because there's those little connector pieces where you can link them, and it does work well.
Yeah.
It probably, in hindsight, would have been certainly a better cost value of what I should have done. But the Northflies do kick ass. Like, they look perfect.
Yeah,
but
they look more professional.
But if I start carrying the one on what that shit ran me, it starts to get nauseating.
I mean, not to mention the entire system that was
and then it's
thrown out.
And then it's
the entire system was bought, weeks to put together, and then thrown out.
Did you throw all that shit away? You just threw it away?
Yeah.
Wow. So you should have given them, just like I did with my lights.
So they were all.
He's not trying to burn down anybody else's house.
Yeah, it wouldn't. I wouldn't have felt comfortable because they were all like, I did all the. I did not all like the last half of the wiring. I did myself.
So I would have given you the first half of the wiring.
Right.
Yeah. If it, none of that shit worked great. None of it did.
Because we rushed it, Bobby.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like I watch these. I watch these YouTube videos, and I'm like, they're like, I'll just knock it out. I'm like, yeah, let's just fucking knock it out then. Let's get all the pieces and fucking build. Let's build it.
It's called. They do use time lapse and quick cuts, bro.
Yeah, I guess.
The let's do it is like it's easy.
It's called a montage.
Do it,
watch a live stream of somebody doing it, and then you get the real vibe.
Yeah. So it was a tactical error. I want to talk about this Majic case a bit. This is the much like the subscription to the Jams and Jellies Club. It's the gift that keeps on giving, Clark. So, quick recap. Bought it Black Friday deal 2019.
18?
No, I bought mine in 2019.
It was supposed to come 6 months later. Because of COVID and everything else, it got pushed back a month, and then it got pushed back 2 months, and then it got pushed back a month, and then it got pushed back 3 weeks, and then it got pushed back 6 weeks, and then before you knew it, it was a year. And then it got shipped, and it arrived. And Joe looked at it and was like, "This ain't right." And I was like, "Are you sure?" And Joe was like, "Well, we'll put it together and see how it works out." And it's not right. So we contact them.
75% right.
They send the right piece. So that comes. Laura contacts Joe to put it together. So I'm at work, which was extremely kind and unnecessary, but kind on everybody's part. I came back. It's all put together. Laura and I go to finish it off. We go to put in a shelf. Shelf comes loose, rips the felt at the bottom shelf. As I'm trying to figure it out, as I'm trying to install it, it comes off of the bracket, swings down, like the shelves you put in the Majic case.
Yeah, I told you I didn't. Oh, you were redoing
it. So we're doing it. We're doing it.
I was like, I told you I didn't.
No. That's why we were doing it. We were measuring it all out, getting it all tight, and we were doing it. And as I was manipulating it, it came off of the bracket in the back, swung down, and scratched the felt
on the bottom.
Yes.
Okay.
So I was like, "Fuck!" Also broke my Soundwave statue in the process of it all. So that was nice.
It hit the statue?
No, it happened earlier. Trying to maneuver it in. There was some miscommunication between Laura and I, and shit got broken. And so then, on top of that, we go to put the final pieces, plexiglass, in, and the last piece, the very last piece of plexiglass, we go to put it in, and it's fucking broken. There's a chip. There's like a triangular chip of the corner completely missing, broken off, snapped off.
Well, silver lining is can't tell. It didn't break into the clear part. It was on the corner part.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's
and also couldn't tell that the Soundwave was broken until you told me. Just now.
Yes, Laura did a kick-ass job gluing it together. So here's the gift and the curse of all this. Mm-hmm. This has been a fucking nightmare. That's the curse. The gift is they're probably top 3 customer service people I've ever had to deal with of all time.
I mean, that's what I've said on day one.
Nordstrom, GoDaddy, Majic Case, and not particularly in that order.
Crash Box is number 4, right?
Well, I haven't had any complaints yet.
That's right.
I'll have to test your system at some point. But it's unbelievable.
We're like a men's room, bathroom sign, Bobby. We aim to please.
So I text them and I was like, look, the plexiglass is broken. I need that replaced. So they were like, airmailed to you. Is everything else good? I said, I ripped the felt of the thing, but that's on me. Otherwise, it's all good. He said, I'm airmailing this to you anyway. Please let me replace that as well. Cool. Replace it. Here it comes. So it has been an ordeal, but it has been top 3 customer service experiences of my life.
I hope you give him a good review then.
Yeah. So,
and it looks beautiful.
It does look good. I worry sometimes that
is it everything you want it to be when you pictured it in your head?
I don't know, because I'm worried sometimes that it has outclassed my sensibilities.
It's too good now. Is what he's saying.
I don't think so, but I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah.
I don't think it matches the rest of your shit.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what
It's like it almost needs to go in another room.
I'm like, is it nicer than what I then?
It's not nice to know what's going in it.
Yeah, but is it nicer? Like
The rest of the room?
Well, no. Is it nicer than? So like, okay, here's a perfect example. I love Bang Bang Shrimp from Bonefish.
Yes, me too. That shit that comes in a little white cup.
I think it's great.
Yep.
It's perfect.
It's fantastic.
I can't. I'd rather have it for just give me 2 orders, one for appetizer and one for dinner, than anything else they really provide. Okay,
Agreed.
You can go to Japan and get this fermented fish that's been fermenting for 1,000 years and was blessed by a samurai of the 1600s, and it comes in a box that you should nail shut and put it back in the ground. And it's a delicacy, and it's like it's an event, and you go and there's a ceremony to eating it. But it might just be a more sophisticated palate than what I enjoy.
I see what you mean. Yeah, that makes sense.
But I mean, in for a penny and for a pound, I'm locked in. Laura thinks that like as I fill it and everything that I'll
And I think that's part of it is you have so much blank space in there, and I'll write your name. But but I think
I like that song by her, by the way.
I do too. Have you heard the rock remix of it? It's fucking genius.
Yeah.
I think once you get it filled with your favorite things, because I mean the statue plan, as I remember, was a representation of things you enjoy, not everything.
Yes, no,
not like the rest of the room.
Yes,
everything.
Yes.
So as you continue to get those pieces, that sounds like you've got a pretty good idea of what you want, or you're waiting on things to come out. I think it's gonna make more sense to you that it's there.
And Laura also said that like she thinks that all I see now is all of this shit tied up in it.
All the time and energy, and
money,
mistakes,
delays, broken gambits,
sakes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, all that. Like when I look at it, I'm seeing this like this cyclone of shit, and then over time, pain will numb.
Well, it's hard to get. I mean, I have an example for that. You remember when our horribly failed attempt to get into the third party resale business with the Fansways Jetfire?
Yeah.
By the time I actually got mine and corrected all the shipping under charges and shit, I was basically I paid $300 for that figure and busted my ass to get everybody one for whatever they were.
Yeah.
I wonder.
It hurt my feelings so bad I didn't even want to look at it.
I wonder if that had anything to do with you ultimately wanting out.
I think it probably had a lot to do with it.
That's curious.
With it.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah.
Because just looking at it, I was so frustrated.
Yeah.
As an outsider, I think the case looks great. First thing you see when you come down the steps, and also it being on its own wall is jarring. Because like if that shit was next to the Transformers shelf, that would be jarring.
Yeah, but Laura loves it as well, and like I think it looks great. I just wonder if it's outside of my if it's outside of my class. You know, if I married a bitch that has to teach me how to eat caviar, you know what I mean? It's kind of how I feel about it. But I think that also I agree with you that having it on its own wall, apart from everything, and it doesn't sit in the social area, I think is the better choice of the other choices. That like. It's the formal corner.
No, it is because like I feel like if you have the big room full of it, like I think because you always like you should put in my house. You said you should put couches in here, make it a living space. But like when I'm in that room, I feel like I need to be quiet. Do you know what I mean?
Some reverence is required.
Cause I use the spotlights. It's dark, it's in there, and I walk in. I'm like, I just put my hands behind my back,
right?
And I look. So yeah, then you're not about that life. So like, it's different sensibility there.
Well, I appreciate that life. I don't think it's what I want from my basement. Like
you want somewhere between that and assholes to elbows.
Yeah. Well, what I want, I don't want assholes to elbows, but don't look around. As soon as I said it, his eyes went right over.
But I was just noticing that you moved some shit around.
Yeah.
Nice save.
How many X-Men can you get on that show?
Well, so I'm gonna do risers and stuff.
I'm just fucking with you.
No, I got a plan. But I don't want shit where you can't see it. Mm-hmm. You know, I want to be able to see everything. But what I do want it to feel like is I want it to feel fun.
Yes. Yeah.
That's important for me. The to feel fun. Dude, so real quick, not to get into my nerd week or anything, but like I watched Dark Knight Rises this past week. Mm-hmm. I fucking love that movie. I fucking love the shit out of it.
It's really good.
Well, anyway,
it doesn't make any sense, but I love it.
It doesn't have to.
I don't necessarily agree with that either. But neither here nor there. You'll just have to imagine the fire. Right? It's like one of my favorite lines in it. So, do you recall the line? So Miranda Talia is talking to Bruce, and she's like, "Don't kill him. I want him to feel the fire, to feel the burning of all the souls, and blah 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 blah." And then when she leaves, Bane is like, "We both know I have to kill you now. You just have to imagine fire." Yeah. So I love that shit. I've been doing it here. Like my kids fucked up and lost their snacks.
Yeah.
And I was like, "No snacks after lunch today. You'll just have to imagine your snacks." Like
that's good shit. Yeah.
Dude, it's so good. But yeah, speaking of which, real quick, I did make some changes in here.
Bobby, why don't you just go into your nerd week? We're wading in the pool at this point.
All right,
jump in.
All right. I still had to do the notes too. But I figured kind of cleaning up with this extra space. I never really liked how it had my Marvel area had Image shit and Top Cow shit and like all this hodgepodge.
It was very off-putting.
Indie.
I never wanted to say anything, but I'm glad you came to that conclusion on your own, Bobby.
They don't mix. We want them segregated.
Well, wait. If we're not gonna do it like Lisbon does her high schools,
oh boy.
But so like I was like, you know what? I have the space now. I'm going to break it up a little bit. I'm going to put give X-Men their own shelf, Marvel their own shelf, and then some sort of mix in between for the most part. And then I moved my DJD up to the top shelf because I got the last member. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, can I say congratulations?
Yeah, no shit.
Finally, the diorama prophecy is fulfilled.
But he doesn't fit.
How many years?
On this shelf.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I had to swap them back with the Dinobots.
It looks good up there.
Yeah.
How many years has it been?
Dude, I was thinking about. I haven't looked. Let me see, because it like
at least 5.
It's crazy.
Because I made that diorama for you in 2015.
Jesus fucking Christ!
It's like one of the first things I ever made.
So I
remember staying up trying to figure out the wiring on those LEDs. Me and Kelly stayed up like 3 a.m.
So the Voss came out April 22nd, 2015. That's when I received it.
Do you see where DJ did in 5 years? Oh, just completed.
And they're all dead, by the way.
Been dead.
Been dead.
The last 2 came out after all of. Actually, it might have been the last 4 came out after all of them were dead, because it was the Nickel and the pet, which I didn't even want Nickel, but you had to get her in order to get the fucking pet, and then the big 2 guys.
I dubbed the guy on the left. His name's Glory Hole.
Dude,
the Chonker, Chonker the Glory Hole. That's his full name.
So moved some shit around. I'm really excited about this. I got this the toppers coming in for these other billies, and
the toppers,
and I'm excited about this Watchman shelf that I'm building, and some ideas that I got going on over there. And then now all my Image stuff is in one place. All my Top Cow stuff is in one place. It's bookended by the Saga toys or the Witchblade toys. I got a whole shelf I'm doing just for Spawn stuff, just to it's a low shelf, but just to kind of, put a pin in that little part of my life. And
You know a guy with like a laser machine that could engrave little brass plates.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. We could figure out how to do that.
And just DC and then everything you just said except like on the shelf.
Yeah. Actually,
a little bit.
I want to do that out there too. Like for each shelf, like Yavin,
Oh yeah.
Coruscant, like
I'm going to do it in
Fancy font.
well, in Galactic Basic, and then put it, no, I'm serious.
and then translate it
and
down
then
below.
put it underneath. Yeah,
Parentheses
yeah.
down
It's
below.
just fuck with him, put it in Klingon.
Do it
and
in
then see who notices.
do it in black acrylic. Yeah, it'd be really nice.
And I'm trying to think if there's any well, okay, so Norby, did I go to IKEA
Again?
No,
I know, right?
no. I didn't go again. I watched.
He wanted to, and then he asked me, "Where do you get this?" I said IKEA, and then I had a piece.
Yeah.
Dreams come true.
Dreams do come true. Laura's birthday happened. She turned 40, so I know what 40-year-old pussy feels like, and it's not too bad.
Probably very similar to 39.
It wasn't very different, I'll tell you, but it's still good. Then we had we went on this walk around Monocacy, which is like a battlefield during the Civil War, and
Monokaki Boulevard.
yeah, Monocacy, and
I drive by that in Frederick all the time.
it is so funny, dude. So like, there's this Jim Jones song, "State of the Union," which and it's like it's got this guy singing on the hook, right? And it's like, "Got your light on my feet and watch all my steps. There's ghosts in my head." Well, looking at this battlefield, it was like foggy as shit that morning, and I was humming it. And as I was humming it, I was just like, the baby goes, "There's ghosts in my head, ghosts in my head."
Oh my god! Your baby's a trip.
It's so fucking funny. Let's see what else we did. So then that night we made homemade pasta, like from scratch.
Yeah, I saw the Instagram.
And homemade sauce and all. Like,
Is it better? Is it different?
Dude. Well, I got another meal for everybody now, so that's a nice thing. But like, it might be the best pasta I've ever had in my life.
Okay,
It might be.
and that's
it might
good
be.
because like a lot of times I feel like people like make stuff at home and I'm like, that's a lot of work and it's like cool that you're doing it, but it doesn't taste any different than like the restaurant. Then like that's a waste of effort.
It was insane. Like,
So it was definitely worth the effort.
Yeah, I couldn't. Like, it was one of those meals where I was eating it, and then I took like a couple bites, and I had to sit back and just look at it for a minute. Like, does that really taste like that? That's crazy. It was phenomenal.
Does it fuck you up for regular pasta now?
Well, I'm kind of easy. With pasta, but it'll always be the standard to which I judge it.
You can put a ketchup on anything.
Ketchup sauce from
On
Olive
anything.
Garden.
Yeah.
I know when I come back from Japan, like there's always a period for at least a few months where I don't get those same foods because I know
Oh,
it'll just be
right,
disappointing.
right,
But
right.
after that, it'll pass and then it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I can't come right back and the next week have sushi and ramen. It's just not the same. So
Yeah.
I wonder if like pasta is the same in that.
Yeah, dude, I mean, I'm pretty. I really, really enjoy pasta, but like, so like, I'm, it's kind of like pizza for me in the same way, where it's like, it can only be so bad. Like, Little Caesars, not what I wanted, but how many you got? Throw a couple slices on this plate, will you?
What was CC's?
And would you mind if you just watch my back while I walk through these fucking Section 8 guard style apartments on my way out of this Little Caesars, because that's where they always fucking sit. CC's same thing. It's trash, but
Dude, CC's is awful.
But I can-
had CC once in my life.
but I can sit and throw it down.
Yeah, I can get down with some CC's.
Really?
Like to
Maybe
a
it's
criminal
just-
level.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It-
Because like
I know,
I'm not picky with food, but like I'm like, there's no way I need to buy CC's ever.
And I know it's not great.
No.
I know it's not
like
good.
I like Little Caesars a lot.
How nuts do you go over the crazy bread?
Some good shit, man. Some good shit.
It's like there's food where if it's around, you eat it, but you don't opt to get it. Like I would eat CC's, I guess, if it's sitting there.
Well, I don't eat that Lido pizza because it's not around.
I heard they don't cut corners.
That's also true. It's square because they don't cut corners, which actually makes no fucking sense. If I hear that almost every day in an ad or something.
Yeah, they don't cut the corners up,
because
bro.
they don't cut corners. I'm like, yeah, you kind of do though, because I'm sorry.
You know what a wise man told me about selling drugs?
Please tell me.
It's played out on corners, but it ain't for squares.
That's fair.
Yeah. That's one of those things I heard one time, and I was like, I'm never going to forget that. Like E-Font Man. Just stuck in there for life. I'm trying to think what else we did. We didn't do a whole lot. It was, Laura's birthday and during COVID, turning 40 during COVID is fucking trash. Having any monument. I got to talking to Laura a bit about that. It's like, what a shitty year to graduate from high school, to get married, to turn some, symbolic
have
number.
a kid.
Anything that was supposed to be a public event.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
A guy I work with's wife is due, pretty much any time in the next 6 weeks, which I get to cover his territory. Yay!
Yeah.
Double work.
Double pay?
Because my company gives 6 weeks paternity leave paid, which is pretty awesome.
It's good.
Knowing this guy, he's still going to be calling me.
Hang out with their babies too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still going to call me every day. What's going on?
Some do anyway.
Yes, some. You're right.
Some like, skip dap deedly dee.
I
Let me gather my things.
work with quite a few ladies who has baby daddies
Shucking
like
up
that.
them deuces.
Isn't your birthday's coming up?
Yep. That's my 40th too.
Bunch of old motherfuckers.
I know.
What day is that? We doing anything?
How your teeth looking? They're getting a little long.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know if anything's open for us to like.
Yeah, but it's they're getting long because my gums are receding.
Yeah.
That's a thing too.
Matches hairline, gums and hairlines.
Yeah. They tried to hold on. They're like, "Fuck it, we're out of here too." I guess. I'm trying to think what else we did because it wasn't. Sunday we we talked and chilled and bullshitted. There wasn't really a whole lot. I'm off now for a while.
Nice.
Yeah, that is nice. And I started working on a diorama.
I saw some stuff upstairs.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's an interesting layout, and it's going to be an interesting color palette, like greens and purples and...
So not gray.
Not gray. However, guess what's going to be there?
Yeah,
a little bit of gray.
Yeah, a little bit of gray.
But it's going to be the Battle of Christophsis, the Clone Wars intro where they were fighting like on the bridge. It was like towards... I think they came back to it later on in Clone Wars, but it was towards the beginning. Anyway,
they met up with Yoda there, right?
I think it all
because wild colors. It's gonna stand out.
Yeah, it is like the green's like a turquoise because they're like little like almost like crystals coming out of the ground.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then it's gonna be like a purple sky ish, and I don't know. I think it's going to that shelf, that particular Star Wars shelf. It's something else I've been starting to think about now. After the Marvel Legends, finishing the Marvel Legends, is like another component to this shit is how all of the shit looks together. Like, because like I'm down to like 2 empty slots, so to speak, on that one shelf, that one Star Wars shelf, and I'm looking at the rest now and thinking what color is going to work for, and then building around
and
that.
Something else you could think of in obviously, without backtracking, is the amount of light you're putting on those now. That would be something to think about as far as like the level of detail and the colors. What colors are going to pop under. It might be worth, because those lights are so bright and so filling of the space, to let's test out a couple colors and lay them in there and just see what they look like. Because like when you look at shit in pictures and then you look at it, in like, this looks nothing the same.
Yeah.
Just kind of give you a better idea and make you a scratch palette and just like, okay, well, that blue is way too blue for what we're going for. It's something to think about.
Something else somebody told me recently, that like a little tip that I'm going to take with me, and if anybody's building this shit the way that I am, which I'm starting to see a little bit more of here and there, like there's like a guy that's pretty much done my Stonicon shelf and my Abraham Lincoln shelf. And it looks good. He's got a different space parameters, but it still works, but somebody gave me a good piece of advice in that 1/4-inch foam that I'm using for the side walls, because it starts to bow because of because of science, right? But he said, like, this guy was like, if you paint the other side, it'll pull. Did you tell me that too?
I think we both told you that on multiple occasions.
We talked about
that.
This.
It pulls back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because as the paint dries, it shrinks.
So I also have,
and we were like, I don't think Bobby has the patience to paint both sides.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing to that is that I got to fight with that fucking shit on the back of it. That's what I hate doing, because it never peels right.
I can offer you a solution to it if and that's to use PVC material that I can cut for you to size. You can't really texture it, but you can paint the fuck out of it.
Right.
You can't texture it. You can hit it with a hammer and It doesn't move around like foam does, but it, as long as it's straight when you get to it, but
I try. I try not to. So here's the thing: is I try not to. I try to be as independent. You know what I mean? Without like having to ask anybody.
All right, Destiny's Child.
Right.
Listen. There's more than
Beyonce. I'm a single Bobbies. Hey, I'm a single Bobbies.
Beyonce. There's more than one person in the group.
I'm Bob.
Kelly
Beyonce.
and Michelle can sing too. I don't know if you knew that. Bob Beyonce over here.
So anyway, it's like the wood, the plywood. Mm-hmm. So I had Jaina carry it down with me from upstairs.
Okay.
I took it outside on the bed. I'm such a fucking idiot.
Instead of bothering me with it, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I took it down on the patio out back.
I knew that. I knew about this last week, and I knew it. I fucking knew it.
I went to Walmart, picked up like a $25 circular saw.
Hold on, let me see. You got all 10?
I am still, yeah. So
Okay.
it's funny. Laura was going out to the store, and she was like, "Don't cut that till I get back." And I was like, "I'm definitely cutting it as soon as you leave." And and she was
You
like,
have to imagine me not cutting it.
she was like, "Try not to cut your fingers off." So she went. Jaina fucked off because she was watching Naruto. So I sit this plywood up on a series of armrests of chairs.
That's okay so far.
With the intention of, I know at one point it's going to, you know what I mean? The balance of the weight is going to have a tipping point once a certain part of it gives way. And at that point is where I risk like scratching it or tearing the wood and, that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to set up stuff in little supports.
I have portable sawhorses, bro.
Oh, see, I should have asked. That would have been great, Joe.
We recently bought a 18-volt battery-powered circular saw, so
yeah,
I'm just ask questions sometimes.
So I
impatience, man.
It's funnier this way. It's funny.
Oh boy.
So I took it outside. I measured it all up. I drew my little line, and then like there's certain things, man, like because like I've used a circular saw before. I've actually to be fair. So, like sometimes in mopping on the floor restoration side of things, there's a certain amount of circular saw work that has to get done, and I'm very familiar with that. But that's like just a circle, you know. So like using one of these little gizmos, like these little this is for personal home use.
I'm confused about what you had. Is it a circular saw or is it like a jigsaw?
So it's
does the blade spin?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not
and it's got the cover on it, and it's got a guide on the left.
Yeah.
You can adjust the blade depth.
So I mean, I've used one before, but I've forgotten. And as I'm lining it up, I'm like, man, it's going to be tricky to see where my line is. And I'm like, oh, look at a little arrow. We're a team, me and the saw. We're working together. We're working in concert. So like,
this is making me nervous.
So I started cutting, and then at a certain point it did tip, and my supports failed, and it did collapse on me. But it wasn't too bad, and I was able to clean it up and sand it up a little bit. Took it inside, put it on some paint cans, got my wall paint, had enough black wall paint left, painted it
from the DTOF.
From the DTOF.
Hand painted it.
Yeah, but I rolled it.
Once it coats.
No, I did. I did
have
two
a question.
coats.
Did you test fit it before you painted it, Bobby?
No, but I double measured it because the thing is it's fucking heavy. Like, and it's awkward, and it's like to get it up there was like not easy. So when I went to do it, and I was like, you know what, I better only do this once. So I just double measured, double checked, double everything, and like
twice cut once.
Brought it back in, painted it, drilled the Norfly lights in, put them in, put it up there. It looks fucking perfect.
Good.
Like
so handy now, Bobby.
Oh my!
I'm completely different than 5 years ago.
I'm Bobby the Toolman Taylor.
Bob the Builder.
I'm Bob the Builder.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
So yeah. So like it's funny. It was the least painless part of the Majic case process.
That's fair. Missing fingers notwithstanding.
Yeah, and I think that's about it. I haven't had a chance to do too much, and I need to be doing some other things, and I'm not doing them. And I'm going to pay for it at one point. I'm going to pay for it. Were you a planner in like high school and shit, like, or were you the last minute getting it done the night before?
No, that's fucking last minute.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like planning what?
like your projects or your papers or whatever had to get turned
They're
in.
lucky if I fucking did it.
Yeah, it was. It got done probably the day before most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? Like they used to tell me, like this is how you're gonna be. If you don't change this habit now, this is how you're gonna be for the rest of your life, and you're gonna fucking hate it. And it's true. They were right.
Yeah,
because it is how I am the rest of my life, and I fucking hate it.
And every time it's like, I'm so stressed out. God, I can't. Why did I leave to the last minute?
Yep.
I'm not gonna do it again, and then you fucking do it again.
Yeah, it was like
for
that,
the rest of your life.
It's like that time you drink too much, and you're like, I will never. You know how many broken promises I've made God in my life? God doesn't believe me for shit. Yeah, as soon as I call, I know he's like he swipes left. Like this lying motherfucker. Truth, my ass.
Never again. Never again.
God, if you get me through this, I will never,
ever.
All right. Who Joe came first. Got coffee. I don't know if I fucked the coffee up. Did I get you coffee first?
No, I came in. When I walked in,
I was downstairs. I
actually got here first.
Yeah,
before
he was already here.
I fucked it up.
Oh man, what do we do?
You came first, but you didn't get coffee first?
Sure.
Okay, then go first.
Because I was on the phone in the other room.
I'm going to be working on these notes a bit, but I will be
okay.
I will be
paying
attention.
He will be somewhat engaged.
You'll be talking to me.
Let's see where to start here. So I finished Rebels.
I need to do that. I fucking need to do that. God damn it.
So here's a question that I have after finishing Rebels. What are your thoughts on Thrawn and Mandalorian stuff? And when I say Mandalorian stuff, I mean in regard to Clone Wars and also Mandalorian, the show.
Okay. So I mean, as far as Thrawn goes, let me be transparent here. I had watched probably the first 2 seasons of that show and watched at it for the rest of the time. Like I'd seen when Obi-Wan and Darth Maul. I'd seen that. I'm pretty sure I'd watched the finale at some point in time. But to sit there and actually see all of it. I always found the portrayal of Thrawn to be very creepy because he talks like this the entire time. He never gets excited.
Dude, the picture of Cody.
Yeah, that was good.
He's like sometimes calm and collective
is
is far more scary.
It is. It definitely is.
Let me tell a brief story. I was we had a mopping contract at a detention center, and
was it floating in the ocean?
And no, and we were working on it. And somebody they told us, they're like, look, somebody's being brought in. We want you guys to work on the floors over here and do not come over here. And we were like, okay, are we in danger? They're like, no, you're safe. But this person that we're bringing in is complaining of a medical issue. So we're not supposed to have anybody hear that, for one. And for two, probably the most dangerous man in the state. He's just being transported somewhere else, and this is like a stopping point for the night. And I was like, okay.
A movie about that.
Yeah, this literally sounds like the setup for a
Precinct 13,
a heist movie.
So we're in this other, and I'm like kind of, I want to see this dude now. You know, I want to lay eyes on this guy. This the most dangerous guy. Like, let me check him out. Let me see like if I look like I feel like I can fight him. You know, they bring him in. And they sit him down, and the nurse comes out. The nurse is obviously afraid. Like, she's trembling, you know? And she's like, what's going on? And he starts talking, and he's like, first of all, thank you. Thank you for coming in, and thank you for asking. I started noticing some tightness in my chest, and then he kind of trailed off. But that's how he was talking to her, and I was like, fuck, that's scary as shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Because you don't know what's coming.
Yeah. But anyway, this one made me think of. But continue.
So I'm interested to see if that plays into the live action stuff. Obviously, Ahsoka's chasing him theoretically because that's wherever he is, you'll be able to find Ezra, right? So, I don't know. That's the last season, man. It's a lot of emotion stuff going on in there, and Kanan dies, and the way he dies, and then when they're in the temple, him and Ahsoka are in the temple, and in the I don't know what you call the viscera, the middle of all the universes or whatever, and he kind of sees the whole thing again.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about all that. For one,
let me ask you this:
it was a powerful moment, but I'm not sure how I feel about it affecting the universe.
Okay, is that where he was? Is that the same place Rey was when she's snapping her fingers in the million?
That's a good. I never thought about that. That's a good
because I watch everything with subtitles on, just because sometimes I can't. And you catch a lot of
Right.
And her voice is in there because it says Ray, and then whatever she says, whatever. There's a lot of little whispers back and forth, different people, but that came to mind. I'm wondering if this is the same place she was when and is it the same place where Luke was when he saw Vader. In the cave, and how does all that work? That part of the lore, the more mystical part of the Star Wars stuff. Yeah,
I think that's fair. I will say that I want to talk about the one thing that irritates me about Thrawn in that show. I love his voice. I love all that stuff does work for me. What irritates me is that every time there's this bit of drama, and then the good guys are about to escape, and Thrawn could obviously get the drop on them. All the Imperial officers are like, "Let's get him now," and then Thrawn's like, "Not now. It's not part of the plan. The plan will play out." But the plan never plays out.
Right.
It's like you're not good. You got all these motherfuckers fooled. They're right.
Well, they weren't counting on space whales. That's basically what the downfall of was.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly enjoyed watching that. It was good. 4 seasons. Like I'd said, I for some reason in my head it was a 3-season thing, but got in my Christmas bag a little bit, and I don't normally do that, and it just kind of stumbled onto some shows and whatnot. The movies that made us did they've done
holiday movies.
They did 2 holiday. They did Elf and they did Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's on my watch list.
And man, I have to say though, the way they edit those together is almost annoying.
Really?
They just
because it's campy.
And it's very who knows what these interviews are actually like with these people? They're like, and how did it go well, Joe? And they have a clip of you going, "Yep." That's totally unrelated.
Yeah, I agree.
But there's a lot of good information in there. The way they tell the story sometimes it's so choppy. But the Nightmare Before Christmas one, just the way they got to the actual process.
I'll have to watch that with Selena. Selena loves that shit.
Yeah. And the Elf one was actually funny too. I didn't, at the time, Will Ferrell was. They said one studio said no one will ever want to see Will Ferrell in the front of a movie. and they finally got the movie made, and there's a lot of Rankin Bass in that. The Rudolph and whatnot, the old school stop motion stuff. Right. There's a lot of that in there, and they actually had to the second half of filming. Buddy's costume is essentially the same thing as the green costume that was it Hermie? You're late for elf school.
Yeah.
So they started filming him in a blue suit, doing the same scene in a blue suit, but they ended up getting the clearances or whatever. But then Old School came out 2 months before Elf did, and the studio's they're not going to see Buddy anymore. They're going to see the Frank the Tank,
who was great.
We're going streaming. So the studio wanted to change it, but they had filmed it on such a tight. They didn't film a lot of extra shit.
Right.
They did say that it kind of annoyed James Caan. Everybody was scared of him when he got to set because he's the guy from The Godfather. Not that he got kind of annoyed by Will Ferrell because he'd be like, "All right, I'm gonna read the script line and then I'm just gonna we're gonna do some other takes, just me going off." And he said it was a little annoyed by that, but I didn't realize that Favreau, that was his first big thing. Yeah. That was his first. He directed it. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. He had done Swingers and Made, a movie Made.
Yeah. So in my mind, Swingers was his first.
I don't know that he had anything to do directing wise from that. But,
okay.
But it's funny. Obviously he's not in this, but they used clips from Swingers and Made of him talking on the phone to people to kind of tie it all. I'm I don't know if I like the way this is done.
I hear you.
But it was an interesting story to tell. Speaking of old Christmas movies, we watched the original Frosty movie from No, it's not a movie. It was a TV special.
The cartoon?
Frosty, yeah, the original one, 1967 or whatever.
So I watched it recently as well. Did you notice anything strange in the first 5 minutes of it?
Maybe. What was?
So it doesn't look like the young girl wearing the coat is wearing any pants.
Okay.
And she definitely lifts her arms up at one point, and the shirt goes up above her stomach.
And she doesn't have on anything underneath?
Nope.
Maybe she has on a bodysuit.
Yeah, it could be. I didn't notice it. My wife noticed it and pointed it out, and then I was like, "What?" And then we ran it back, and I was like, "Holy shit,
Weird.
So we also watched
1966 creepy little."
Well, so there's a sequel to that. It came out in 1992. Has John Goodman as the voice of Frosty.
What the?
And it is quite possibly the worst 30 minutes of entertainment I have ever seen in my life. I mean, the songs in it. We'll leave alone the fact that John Goodman is actually singing.
Uh-huh.
They're so bad. I want to play the song for it. It's so bad. I was just like, how did this get made? How did this get given? John Goodman was a bona fide star at that point in his life.
That's
he was
Roseanne
doing like King Ralph and those movies like that. But it's like, geez, the animation was awful, and it looked like It looked like they tried to copy the Peanuts animation style. You know, I was waiting on wah, 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 wah in the background. Right. And then the story it's literally a bad copy of the first movie. It's like, why did they even call this?
Can it be any worse than the Colonel Sanders movie that came out a couple of days ago? I didn't watch it.
Oh, the one on
with A.Z. Slater.
So
Mario Lopez as
it's
Colonel Sanders.
What happened?
So you know how KFC has their whole marketing campaign is nobody is the Colonel, but everybody is the Colonel. They always have different actors playing the Colonel now. Do you know about this?
No.
Reba McEntire has played the Colonel. They've had a bunch of WWE guys. They actually filmed a wrestling bit where I think it was Dolph Ziggler played the Colonel and he was wrestling against somebody. Well, now they're doing a
Hallmark movie,
Lifetime movie or Hallmark, whatever.
Yeah.
It's Mario Lopez from Saved by the Bell. That A.C. Slater, who's playing the Colonel, and it's I don't know, Deep Fried Romance. It's something I don't know what the name of it is, but
Deep Fried Romance.
Some things with seduction.
I don't remember what it was, but
Sounds delightful.
Yeah. Watched. I didn't actually finish it, but watched the majority of Christmas Vacation.
Oh, so did I.
Oh my God, it's so
So
good.
it's perfect.
It's just so good, and I don't think you appreciate the pratfalls that Chevy Chase goes through as a young adult the way you do as a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, long in the tooth fella. Some of those.
That movie, you appreciate different parts of it your entire life. Like I remember being miserable going out to cut a tree down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I remember being, miserable, like having family over, and and it's like, and then I remember lighting issues now. Like it's
God.
It's so funny.
Some of my favorite shit is the interactions with the neighbors. It's Elaine.
Yeah.
Like when
I joke with Laura that would have been us without kids.
I think you might be right. It might be right. But like one of my favorite scenes is when he's up on the gutter breaks loose and that huge ice chunk
spike
shoots through and breaks their window and his hi-fi system.
Hi-fi.
And it's like, why is the carpet wet? What's the guy? I don't know the guy's name.
Yeah.
Why is the carpet? And then the lights come in. Yeah, that's some good shit. That's some good shit.
My favorite part of it is always that gift part of the end where he thinks it's the Christmas bonus. And he turns around and he's like, "It's a monthly subscription to the Jams and Jellies Club." And then the cousin's finishing up a drink. He's like, "That's the gift that keeps on giving."
Gift that keeps on giving. I want you guys to watch. This skit. It's I don't know if we can play. It's a Saturday Night Live skit. It's 2.5 minutes.
You want to pause it?
Yeah, let's pause it and I'll plug in real quick.
All right.
So I've always thought it was funny. Me and Kelly always joke that. What the fuck? You just gonna show up with a car and undiscussed so that kind of that skit is very funny to me. Just the whole fact that that's probably happens a lot. You bought a fucking Lexus without talking to me.
So I think I can't remember whether I told the story on here or not, but there was one time where my wife she really wanted to go to this class. It's sounds so stupid, but it's not. It's not. But it's like a boxing class.
Okay.
But it's not for her to be a pugilist, Joe. It's like a Parkinson's thing. And they have found that this type of boxing training has been very beneficial for Parkinson's patients. That they have a huge, growth from it. But it's expensive. And it's a big deal. It's in that world, it's a big deal. So it was coming to Pennsylvania, I think, which is the closest it's been in whenever. And she put in at her old job for it to do it, and they said no. and she was like devastated, because she really wanted to do it. So then it was like $1,000 or something, like $1,300 to like attend this class. I think it was like a 1-day class. And so like I went on and paid it, and like enrolled her in it, and she got fucking pissed. And I did it with like my money, like my toy money.
Yeah.
And she got fucking pissed, like, and to this day I still don't quite understand why, but
yeah.
But like I can relate to that a little bit, only because I had that one little moment. And here's the thing: it ended up, so if my wife and I are both gambling, and somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose, I already know who's winning and who's losing.
Right.
But the class was like for late March this year.
Oh.
and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And so I canceled it and got my money back.
Yeah.
Prior to, but
and you bought a statue.
Yeah, I probably bought a statue.
There you
go. But who knows what would have happened, how they would have handled that.
Yeah.
So one of those things.
I just thought that was funny, and I thought we could probably relate a little bit. I mentioned I think after I watched the first episode, there's this I think it's on HGTV. It's called The Biggest Little Christmas Showdown. It's miniature. They're building miniatures.
Yes.
So we watched 2 more episodes of that because I guess I missed a week. It's 4 episodes total, like 3, and then the winners of those 3 go into the grand finale. I swear to God, me and Kelly are watching this, and even Mason's like, "Why are you and Mom not doing this? These people, oh my God,
amateurs!
Like they were just breaking toothpicks." Just breaking them, and then the judges were like, I mean, some of this shit, I'm just like, this guy says he's a professional miniaturist. He had to build a fireplace. You know how do you know how he did the bricks inside the fireplace, Bob?
Don't get Bobby started.
But do you know how he did the bricks inside the fireplace? No. He printed out bricks, like he printed out pictures of bricks and
then just glued them.
Oh, and then they were like all curled up and
yeah.
Hot glue strands everywhere.
Oh yeah,
that is infuriating.
And they were using and they had 30 days at home to work on this.
Yeah, that's the part that
they can do half the project at home. Now these 2 guys, they had actually done it was all foam core, like the shit you buy at Walmart or whatever. They had built this entire house out of foam core. But like it was so shittily done, and then they were
foam core's like it's good structurally, but it's hard to work with to texture or to do it.
Oh well,
it's like next to impossible.
And it's only good for ruins because the way they brick is
yeah.
And these 2 girls they had made, it honestly looked like they had gotten how they make the calyx that's like too high or whatever, 2 blocks high. They made something like that out of some material, and each little room was done. And I swear to God, they just went and bought all the scrapbook paper they could find, and like every wall was different, and every wall had furniture, but it was very shittily made. And then there was a fascia that opened on hinges, and the inside of that you saw while you were looking, but they didn't even finish it. It was just wood with some shit like written on it and half painted, like where the painted.
Wow,
made me so mad.
Yeah,
it made me so mad. But
even as a hobbyist, because like you're in this realm. You've seen better. You know how things should be done, especially when people are on a show competing.
Mm-hmm.
But like what you find, especially if you look into doing commissions and stuff, or like looking for commissions, is like professional, quote unquote. It's just a self-imposed term,
right?
Like you see a lot of quote unquote pro painted like miniatures for sale, and they are awful.
Yeah.
So him being a professional miniature maker doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, there were some. I think one of them used some little figurines. I'm like, they need some Warhammer friends because these are awful. It's just atrocious. But the finale is next week, so I'll have something else to complain about. So I mentioned about the fish tank a couple weeks ago about trying to find the right setup, and I don't know if we're gonna go with it or not. I think we're leaning against it at this point. But like, there's these fish that Mason was looking at. And it's like the females, as they get older, they stop reproduction, and they just basically, they look like they're dead. They just sit there.
Why don't you just get a fake fish at that point?
Joe, they call it menopause.
I knew it. As soon as you started talking, I was like, man, you're not gonna, you got a fucking fish farm. You're not breeding these things.
Menopause because they stop. And they're old female fish.
Last week was nice when I wasn't here.
And I had that in the bank, and I didn't use it last week.
Real quick, I was doing the I put together the greatest the greatest hits for 2020.
Yeah.
There's this one in there that's so funny where you get some joke off and then it's like silence for like 20 seconds and then Joe says, "How many episodes are we gonna do?"
Yeah, I was actually I might have heard that somewhere, but in my head I came up with that.
Yeah.
I don't know, menopause. But there was fish tank conversation. That is
I know
true.
that was fish tank
There
conversation.
was-
That's how you fucking get me every
Right,
goddamn
right, right.
time.
And I planted
You
to
start
see
with
this
some real
time.
shit, and then you fucking throw me
Yeah.
off. The fucker. I'm never gonna believe anything you say ever again.
Oh, okay, that's fair. I think I just want to say this, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but perfume commercials are dumb.
Dude, commercials in general are dumb. I've
Okay.
watched commercials for the first time in the past couple weeks, and I'm like, I can't believe we watched this shit.
Well, hang on. First, there's two things to that. One, and they're not necessarily related. Perfume commercials are dumb because, one, the product that you want to buy is based on your sense of smell.
Right.
So me seeing Lady Gaga in a field wearing a prom dress doesn't really tell me what that smells like.
No. Because when I watched them, I mean, obviously for perfume, but for cologne, I know that then women will flock to me.
So when
Chris, when I'm walking outside, they will just triple I'll just be having women hand over fist. Just it's the fragrance, the aroma, the pheromones.
The pheromones.
You know?
So Johnny Depp digging a hole in the desert makes you want to buy. So there's. I actually saw two of them this morning.
He's probably digging a hole to put that bitch to hit him.
Probably.
Metaphorically speaking, in a court, maybe.
I figured he'd just drown her.
She's a good mirror, by the way.
Is your horn?
It doesn't. It's,
Oh no!
Oh man!
Oh no! You need a new one.
2020 dreams need a new horn. Let's put the word out to everybody.
I mean, how does it?
You overused it. Is what happened.
You know what I mean? How does that happen? It's got to be like it's a mechanical
leaking
thing,
somewhere.
right?
Go
Yeah,
get
it's
your,
It's got to be a seal.
Bobby, go get your
See, that's funny.
No, it's not. Get your circular saw. You can fix it.
Yeah. I'm getting pretty good.
The perfume commercials. I saw two this morning. One had Talia from the you just talked about her. Yeah,
Nice.
She was in it, and they were dancing. And I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what this smells like. How does this make me want to buy that? Mm-hmm. Although I am quite fond of the ones that Natalie Portman does for something, just because it's Natalie Portman.
Yeah. Pretty good.
But commercials in general, I think they're targeted. I think we're all too old for these commercials. I think they're targeted at like Mason's age, like 20-somethings. Because I think they just process information on a different level.
They're like, people are going to be swiping left immediately
That's
as soon
right.
as you spray 2 cents of such and such.
that's
I mean,
right.
the context, yes, but like the structure of commercials has not changed from as far as I remember. Like how dumb it is. Basically, it's the same as 20 years ago. And like when I was a 20-year-old, I didn't watch commercials either. Like when it came on, you fucking went to get a drink or piss or whatever.
Right,
Like,
or you fast forward a
so
don't act like you don't. Don't act like you don't know.
TiVo?
that.
I never had it.
I never had it.
I love
either.
TiVo, man.
I didn't have cable till I was in my 20s. But
my-
I don't understand. I don't understand commercials now. I really don't.
One of my favorite commercials. It's a Doritos commercial. It's this kid's like built a time machine, and this guy gets in it, and when he comes out, there's some old man. There's like, Timmy, you've gotten so old. I don't know. Probably
I love the
didn't translate
Geico
well.
ones. I generally speaking,
They do have some funny commercials.
they got some good commercials.
They do. They yeah.
I
run the same shtick forever too.
I've had Geico. So this might surprise you, but when I first started driving, I was like, "Oh, I can get anywhere I want as fast as I want."
No, same here.
So I got in all sorts of driving problems, accidents, tickets, the whole shebang. And my insurance company dropped me. And
Wow, you got dropped.
yeah. And like I was like Neil Diamond, left me alone here with nothing to hold, and no one would have me. I was like a insurance orphan.
Oh wow.
And Geico took a risk on me. My premium was high as fuck.
I mean, yes.
And they took a risk on me, and I've never left them since because they did me a solid. So like
Hey,
even though like I
loyalty.
can get better rates now at a lot of different places, I'm like, nope, I won't do it. They held me down. I'll hold them down.
I'll mention one last commercial, and it's Shaq does commercials for the General car insurance.
Yes.
Which I think the General is like, if you legally want insurance, this is what we're going to give you.
Yes.
There's this one commercial, and it's him and some other guy, and they're playing poker, and the guy like throws his car keys in. He's like, I'm going to put in my car, and Shaq says, you can't drive your car anyway. Your insurance has lapsed. Like that is like just like a slap in the face, but it's like, your insurance is lapsed.
Do you remember his rap album?
Of course
Oh
I
my
do.
God, yes. You remember Shaq Fu? The game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, he was with the Fushnikins, I believe.
Yeah, and then he had
And he did his own album, Shaq Fu. I believe is the name of it.
I don't even know, but I know he had RZA and Method Man on a song called No Hooks.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, he was terrible.
It's
on it.
funny, the things you remember with music. I remember driving down the Parkway in Huntsville listening to that album for some ungodly reason.
Yeah, I had the single. For RZA and Meth, but I couldn't get through his part fast enough.
Do you remember that? Remember buying singles?
Oh my God,
And
I could tell you how much they cost. $3.49.
Right, but did in your head did you ever say, man, if I buy 3 of these off this album, might as well have bought the album? But sometimes you got
That's my rule.
But sometimes you got B-sides that you wouldn't get on the album.
So that was my rule with singles: is if I was going to buy 3 singles, I would just buy the album at the time.
Well, but you don't know sometimes that you.
Yeah, well, but usually the rollout usually is the first single drops, second single drops with the album, and then the third single is after the album. Was like the 90s plan. So when the second single came out, usually was when I would make a decision. And I remember, you know what I used to love?
Sam Goody, when you could listen to music in the store?
Maxi singles.
So remind me what a maxi single was.
So a maxi single was
like an EP almost?
Lengthwise, yes, but it was like it was like 5 extended penis.
I was on a roll today.
And then an LP, I guess.
Long penis. It was $5.99. And like so I had I bought the Cream Wu-Tang single. $3.49. You got Cream on the A side and Mystery of Chess Boxing was the B side.
Okay.
The maxi single had both of those, A side and B side, along with a radio edit, an acapella, and an instrumental.
Yes,
of both.
I remember those.
Yeah, and like that, I used to love that
But
shit.
you couldn't find that for everything, though.
Correct. They had to really believe in the single to maxi it out, so to speak.
Right. To release it like that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because like you can't get aside from Dust put out like an instrumental project recently, but like a lot of singles and shit, I would love to get the instrumental of some of those records, and they don't really do it. It's not a thing anymore.
So apparently there's ways to get that. I talked to Dust about it because he's talked about like being able to some website. I think you have to subscribe to it, but you can get breakdowns of stuff.
So I have
out of
this
songs.
I have this DJ app that I'm not going to renew, but it's like I would. So it was $40
For a year?
for a year.
It's not hateful.
Yeah, fuck that. But now I'll tell you, if it was $40 flat out purchase,
Yeah.
I would have got it in a second. But like, one of the options on it is drop the vocals out,
Okay.
and it's like it's not 100%, but sometimes it is.
It's enough to get, like, if you wanted to sample it.
Yeah,
to pull a
yeah.
minute
If you
or
wanted to
two,
loop something, you could probably find a clear space in there somewhere. It's just interesting. Yeah.
It is interesting.
I don't know
Yeah,
how
I
we
mean,
got here.
with the technology that's out today, I'm sure, if you wanted the background vocals for something, I'm sure you could get it one way or the other.
Yeah.
I guess the last thing is we've finished the production section of our work for the year on Crashbox. So
Nice.
everything's
Congratulations.
done. My wife, bless her heart, is packing it all out today. So weather permitting, everybody should have their stuff soon.
Take the last couple
Turn
weeks
that
off.
shit out, man.
Yeah. It's to take the last couple of weeks to prototype what we're going to offer in January. So I'm still
Yeah, the fucking factory over there.
Yeah, and Frosted Flakes is, he's going to take a break from school. His heart's just not in it, and doesn't, he's like, I don't want to waste your money if I don't. I'm like, I don't.
time.
That's fine. That's fine. It's a weird fucking time to be trying to go to college. So
He could always get the general stuff done. To be fair,
I know. We've
be
talked
fair.
a lot about it, but
Sure, I'm
he's
sure.
going to. I've been showing him literally the whole business, how to run the equipment, the paint process. He's learning the pack out process today, so he's just going to be able to jump in and help us. And he wants to start saving some money, and I don't know.
I think that's smart.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think everyone need to or should go to school, especially immediately after high school.
I don't either. But I do think you need to do something.
No. I mean, yeah. What else are you gonna do? Sit at home?
So that's where it gets tricky, though, right? Because like,
Well, especially now, like how you're gonna get a fucking
Exactly.
job? Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
therein lies the other. That's why I've offered him
Exactly.
this opportunity to work with us. Is what are you going to do? I mean, I don't want him.
you
to
can't
go-
just sit at
I don't
home.
want. I don't. If I have the choice of having him to help us do some shit and me paying him, or him going to buy groceries at Safeway, I don't want him to have to do that right now.
yeah.
I don't want him doing that and then coming home.
Yeah.
on every day.
And that's the challenging part of it. But it is like, I mean, like work experience wise, working for you at home is not going to be representative unless you're running it that way. It's not going to be representative of the workforce.
It's not. It's obviously it's not. But
Business casual at minimum, I would
sure,
imagine.
yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, you got to tuck your shirt in when you're in the workshop. Safety hazard.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like it's challenging.
I think people should spend some time working as a younger person.
I think everybody should have to work
At least
retail for like
especially.
a month. I think it should just be
It changes you,
to
especially
understand how people treat other people. Really.
Yeah.
and also like I think a lot. Especially in our culture, people get into financial issues at an early age because they're not familiar with the system, and they get signed up for credit cards, and you have debt
Yeah.
for life. It's
Yep.
like if you've never had to go out and have to work and make the money to pay a bill that you have to pay, like you don't know how that feels like.
Right.
Like as a kid, you just don't,
Right.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
and you don't know how much money's worth until you realize how little it is worth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Like
It's true.
Like I don't think Kennedy understands even at 12 like the value of any. I don't think she understands financial.
No,
like how much stuff costs.
Do you think
I
Kennedy's
don't
weird?
Yep.
So I think Jane is weird too. And
Kennedy's really weird.
so I think about that sometimes. Like
I think
anime
it's
nerds.
them. I think it's just that's
What?
part
They're
of
anime
it.
nerds. They are my people. Like they
They're-
are not weird to me, but I know that they're weird because they're familiar.
There was a skit on Saturday. Keep going back to Saturday Night. There was a skit on there, and they had this girl that she was like some teenage movie blogger, and like everything she said and the way she reacted, her body language, me and Kelly just kept going because it was like.
But I just want to be like, pick your fucking shoulders up, dude. Like, walk like you fucking mean it. Like, it's little stuff like that it's like, it's like, what do they call it? What's the expression? Like death by 1,000 paper cuts or whatever. Where it's like it's nothing. It's not like any one thing really troubles me. It's just that all of these little things trouble me to a point where like I don't know how to express myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's because it's not like one thing. You can be like, you fix this and you're good.
Yeah.
Yes. But also, it's like, I mean, it's personality, man. Like, maybe you just don't like her personality. Like not everyone walks the same.
No, but I do though. Like, because when she sits down and she opens up and like I'm like, yeah, like
So, like,
she's
these
a
other-
thinker. She's a, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's
So these other things, you said to fucking take it. Maybe I don't know her as well as you do.
Well,
but
I
like
mean,
so
obviously,
everyone has something that bothers you about something. Everybody.
Sure. Obviously, I have to take it. You know what I mean? Like I'm committed. I
I thought you were a child run to 18.
yeah. I'm committed. I'm in it for the long run. But like I want her to be passionate about whatever she's passionate about. I don't care so much about that, but I also want it's important for me as a father to instill confidence and strength, especially for, as it sounds sexist, but especially for a woman to grow. Like I want her to walk in and own a room. I want her, you know what I mean? I don't want her to walk in and be a meek mouse in the corner. I want her to walk in and be like, I'm the right person for this job. You fucked up if you hired anybody else, and like, and she is that sometimes, but it's like I feel like sometimes she LARPs, I feel like sometimes she plays this character,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Kennedy does the same shit.
and
with
then
us.
and then you can see it when it switches, and she's dropping it, and it's Jaina again, and it's not Jaina-san.
Yeah.
And it's the most. Because like she'll be like, yeah, this and that, and I'm like, yeah, but what about this? And then all of a sudden she was like, yeah, I can do that. I am going to do that. What am I letting it get down me? Like, it's this, it's like a mindset of like, it's like her hair change. It's like her hair like will be sitting tight, and then she'll come down the steps and it's like.
Slowly.
It's like wasping over her eyes, and then her shoulders are trying to touch each other. I'm like, get the magnets off your shoulders. You know, like, cause like we're just pulling at each other. And you know, and then all of a sudden, like, she'll flip and the hair will go back into the bun, and she was like, and like her shoulders will come up, and she's alive again. And it might also be hormones and growing.
It's a lot of that,
you know?
And also, it's like finding yourself.
Too.
Like, I don't know if you remember, like, when I was at that age, I didn't know who I was either. There was definitely different phases.
I don't know
you
if
go
I
through.
know who I am now.
And
that's why people go through goth phases, like, different phases. Like, you try to see
you
what
try to find
fits.
where you fit in, and the fact that they're not going to school right now, and that's. So here's something.
Yeah, well, but that worries me. So I'm like, these fucking kids are going to eat you alive.
Well, it's not just them; it's everybody.
If you bump into me now, you're in for one.
But the only caveat is that they're all in that situation.
They're all in the same situation.
Fucking home right now.
Yeah, no. They're all at home, but they're not all with magnets on their shoulders.
I
would imagine. I don't know. I haven't gone to the school, but I would imagine that not all kids are that way.
No, but like they're all at a disadvantage socially.
For sure.
Yeah,
but
that's
somebody
what I'm
could
saying.
chew her up and spit her out, and she may not be prepared for that.
Do you think that the world we live in, where, gosh, this is a weird thing to say, and forgive me, I'm just going to say it. The world where we live in, where it's so accepted that there's everybody's challenged, or something you're overcoming something that you appear that's wrong. Do you think kids are looking for what's wrong with them so they can say,
yes.
well, I've got XYZ with me?
Yes, I do. And I don't even think it's just kids now. I think it's like there's a person.
Yeah, adults do that.
There's a person I know, but I feel like it's mostly younger adults. But I agree. There's an adult I know right now that's like, well, you know, my condition. Always talking about it. My condition. And finally, I was like, what the fuck? What is the condition? Condition red? What is it? And like,
and that's also who did it with their kids.
I'm borderline diabetic.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, so am I. My border's wider than yours.
Yeah.
Fucking get over it. So you got to eat one Snicker instead of two. All right, fine. Yeah. I'm borderline diabetic too. Then stupid.
But I think about that a lot, and I think about how that's been, impacting, our children in the commercials for, if your depression medicine is making you hungry, take this drug. If you're eating too much because of these two drugs, take this drug. And
I love that.
I live in it.
I'm sure you know
yeah,
that
you
life.
You do.
I watched it. I
Poor
love
fucking
that
kids, man.
That South Park episode where was it Butters or one of them goes in for like a psychological evaluation, and the doctor comes out like, "Oh my god, please sit down. I have some bad news. We can medicate him. It can be okay, but it appears as though your 8-year-old son has multiple personality disorder. Sometimes he thinks he's an Indian, sometimes a cowboy, other times a cop, and then it's sometimes a robber.
Yeah.
And like I do feel like there is like something generationally going on where people want to be defined by their flaw, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
I mean,
And sometimes the flaw isn't even a flaw.
No,
it's the unique thing, but it's always on the perceived negative side.
because it's easier to have a flaw than have something good. It's a lot easier to be like, there's something wrong with me than actually stand out as something good.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
like-
but I mean, so yes,
If you want to be special,
everybody's flawed.
If you
So-
want to be special, you want to have a trait, and you're not really good at one thing, you can be really bad at something else.
So
but then you're special for a different reason.
here's an interesting story.
Ridiculous reasons.
So as you guys know, the Mezco drops are very hard to get sometimes, and you have to know and you have to be there.
Predator looks good, by the way.
Yes, it does. There's this kid.
Give you your flowers.
I say it's a kid. Thank you. I had nothing to do with it. There's this. I'm assuming a younger person that every time there's a drop, 2 hours later, hey, I missed out on this. Can anybody hook me up for retail? I don't want to pay. Same guy. So he posted in one of the groups that he finally. I was like, I was able to get so and so, and I commented, oh, I guess that means you're not going to be asking for one for a hookup price. And he said, ha ha ha, comment or something. Well, somebody comes behind him and said, because somebody else had said something kind of smart ass to him too, and this guy was like, oh, way to pick real classy to pick on an autistic kid.
You're like, so he can draw.
And I that's what I said. He's from Boston.
Oh no, that horn is so sad.
All right, who's sending Bobby a new horn?
You just need an app now, an app that plays a horn.
I can't even play this thing anymore.
Oh, Oh, that was a good one. There you go.
So he commented, I real classy to do this, blah blah blah. And I said, do you have is there a web page I can find with everybody with disabilities, or do you keep a spreadsheet? I said, guess what? I'm 7 feet tall and hit my head a lot. That's my disability. What the fuck? It's just like,
like whatever. I don't know.
I ignore that shit.
not all heroes wear capes, right? So
Whatever happened to the handy-capable mindset?
I know.
I treat everybody equally. That's what.
Hey, there you go. Everybody wants to be treated equal. And finally, to wrap up my nerd week, I watched The Mandalorian. Bobby, you did a great job in your return role.
Oh, Bill Burr's back,
dude. All right. So
spoiler alert.
I guess we should talk about it right now. Spoiler.
I wanted him to come back. We're talking about this.
All right.
Which he said he wasn't. He did a good job kayfabing it because he said he wasn't.
What do you score this episode at?
Man, I like this episode a lot.
I did too.
I'm going to probably give it an 8. I'll give it an 8.75.
So is the last one coming out yet?
No, it's next. It's this week.
This Friday?
This Friday.
Oh, wow. What are we talking about next week?
And real quick before we get, Mason has finally watched. He's going to be ready to watch the finale with us.
Nice.
He's just over the past week watched it all.
So 7 is probably my score.
Okay,
but here's the thing: if it was an episode, if the show was called Star Wars Bill Burr, it would have been a 10.
Yeah.
Like that's it's the gift and the curse. Bill Burr is fucking awesome in that episode, and the shit that he talks about like an objective view of the
Dude, I
galaxy
loved all that
and
shit.
war.
I say that all the time.
Like,
That's
fucking great. It's giving me the chills thinking about it because it's just like this is a regular guy who didn't pick a side and just
he did pick a side and he left.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I guess when I say about pick a side, in his heart, you know, and like he's just talking about it. He's like, you know, like it's not good or bad. It's just most people are just trying to get through the fucking day, and like, it was fucking beautifully written and executed and all that shit. And then I'm like, I know more about this character than I do about the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Well, he's not mysterious.
You know, when
Terribly mysterious.
They put on the
From Mystery Men, you ever seen Mystery
Yes,
Men?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh man,
They were like, so and so. He's terribly mysterious. Well, what's his power? Is that his power? What? Being mysterious? Well, terribly mysterious.
Terribly mysterious.
Dude, that was a great movie.
Fuck yeah.
There's just some. It's silly, but it's like he's putting on that guy's uniform. He's like, this guy stinks. The gloves are wet. You don't think about that. You know, these guys have been. I don't think they provide a lot of different.
Because they infiltrate an Imperial base. Mm-hmm. You'll never believe how they do it.
Disguise.
Get out of my house! Witchcraft!
I can read minds.
How could you possibly know?
Well, also
did they fail to?
Well, it's also what they do.
Every.
Yeah.
It's like,
is there a single piece of Star Wars media where they didn't infiltrate wearing disguise?
I'm trying to think if they did it in the prequels.
So let's see.
Because they do.
I don't think anybody does this.
Yeah, they may not.
Well, I mean, they travel as Anakin and Padme travel as refugees.
That's true. That's true. But that's not quite as. But yeah, like there's the stormtroopers in 4. They do it as troopers in Rogue One. Mm-hmm. They do it as. I guess Han is The other team does it as troopers in Solo. Mm-hmm. Woody Harrelson.
Yep.
Leia infiltrated as a fucking bounty hunter.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And then, but at least that's not the Imperial thing. Like they do it in Episode 8. With Rose and Finn.
Right.
And then they've now done it in The Mandalorian. But I liked it. I liked the little different world. Mm-hmm. Like the little stuff. I even like the Imperial officer like going on about and like Bill Burr can't handle it.
Can't deal with it.
And I want a show about Bill Burr.
At this rate, everyone's going to get their own series.
Yeah,
it's fine.
that's true too.
Yeah,
he might get his own series.
Get into all that, I'm sure.
But like the best thing about this episode for me is also like the worst thing about this episode for me, and that the best thing about this episode is about what they did with that character, and the worst thing about this episode is that they did it with that character.
Yeah,
But I enjoyed it a lot.
I did find it very odd that he's walking around with his helmet off and not the Bill Burr's character You know, and is it not weird that? I mean, I know they had to do that so you could tell who he was,
Right.
But you know, could you not have just put a big scratch on his helmet so we know which one he was?
Yeah.
Oh, you must have never played Warhammer 40,000, where nobody wears helmets in war
anymore.
Right. Well, you know, they're in a, you know, he comes in out of this adventure they have and get out of their little tank thing, and he's the only person in this entire room not wearing
That's
a helmet.
how you know he's the leader. The sergeant doesn't wear a helmet.
You know what I don't feel in 40K? Those little metal moles they put on their forehead.
Oh, the studs, the service studs.
I don't even want to know.
For every
that.
100 years, you fucking stick a metal stud into your skull.
I'm good. 99.
I'd be like, dude, can you put it like on the back of my shoulders? Someplace I don't have to look at it every day.
What'd you think about Baba Frick?
Baba
Frick.
Baba Fett.
What did you
That's the
think
Alabama
about,
version.
What did you? Why my headphones just went to shit? What did you?
Snagged the
I
thing.
did.
Yeah.
What did you think about Boba Fett's paint job?
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
Fresh to death.
Yeah, it is fresh to death. I love Gina Carano in it. Like, I love like, you know, her whole bit. Like, she has some interesting stuff going on too with being work. You know, like it's just like I love what they're doing with everybody. I'm still not sold on.
Maybe
him.
it makes sense. Just from, haven't watched this, but like just from the outside in, is like everyone has had life experience, doing things, finding themselves, and having worldviews. If you're raised in a cult and you've done cult shit all your life, there's not much to you.
Agreed, but like, show me some cult shit.
Right.
You know, like show me that. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Like, I will say that like just having him without a helmet helps me connect to him.
Right.
You know, like he does a fair amount of this episode.
Nice.
And dude, that point, and I hate to spoil this, but I got to spoil it because
That's fine.
it was my favorite moment of it, where like, you know, he's talking, Bill Burr and the Mandalorian is talking, the Mandalorian they're all in trooper gear, right? And the Mandalorian is talking about, you know, the structure and rules and da-da-da, and then Bill Burr's like, yeah, I guess, but you're not supposed to take your fucking helmet off. And now look at you. You're wearing a fucking stormtrooper helmet. So is the rule that you can't show your face or that you can't take your helmet off? You know, and it's and it's a good fucking point. Like, and I think a lot of people do that with like, you know, the kind of the Joker shit. Like, they're only as good as the world allows them to be.
Yeah.
Like the kind of rules that we set up to kind of put ourselves in the best possible place to be the best human we can be. We do find ways to bend them. You know, like I'm only gonna get the original trilogy stuff, or I'm only gonna get the movie. You know what I mean? And then before you know it, you bend the rules and you bend the rules.
That shit really works out well.
You know?
Well, the more character beats like that would be cool to help shape the Mandalorian into making him think about, like, giving him more character because he has more information to process.
Just being able to look at the dude in his eyes and see expression helped me a lot.
I mean, that's why he complains about being in helmet. Like, any actor complains about being helmet all the time.
I'm glad you brought that up because I think we can pretty much put a pin in that bullshit rumor too.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, this fucking bitch, pardon me, I don't know her personally, but she did the same. She's done the same thing. She's done this a lot because negative shit about Star Wars sells. So like she was one of the big ones that was like, Kathy Kennedy's getting fired. I heard it. Kathy Kennedy just gave an announcement about the future for. She's still very much hired. Like, you know, she's the one that said the Mandalorian was going south. That you won't see him in the later part of the series. It kind of becomes a separate story, short story thing. That's not true.
Nope.
Like, it's just bullshit for clicks, and it's bullshit for clicks that's based on the premise of destroying the reputation of a franchise.
I mean, it's basically a tabloid.
Yeah.
Except people don't realize it's that tabloid.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you pick up tabloids like National Enquirer. You know that shit is just for funsies.
Yeah.
A Weekly World News.
Yeah.
Dude,
What happened
as
to
a
that,
child,
man?
dude, as a kid, I loved Weekly World News.
Bat-
I thought that shit
Bat
was
Boy?
real. I thought that shit was real when I was like 12.
I remember me and my brother would.
I was like, why is nobody talking about this?
Right, exactly. Right. Me and my brother would like, Mom, can
It
we buy
says
Weekly
world news.
Yeah, it's got to be true. It's got to be true. It was
Just like I believed like wrestling was real.
still real to me. Damn it.
Like, I understand, like, you know, obviously we all know wrestling, the actual
It's predetermined.
feat is real, but the competition is fake.
It's predetermined.
Right.
That's
So,
that's
like-
the word.
Yeah, but as a kid, I didn't realize the competition was rigged.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad was firefighter, and he did like fire protection stuff like on the side, and he had to do some sort of safety thing for when they had some event at Baltimore. And I remember him like coming back to me and telling me, because I was never a huge wrestling fan, but I grew up in the
Well, you were intrigued by it, I would imagine.
I grew up in the era where it was a big deal, like
Yeah.
the superstar era of it, and like you know, I remember him telling me how like the mat was kind of like a low budget trampoline, you know, like, or a high budget trampoline, depending on how, you know, you see it. But like, you know, like it's not you know,
There's some give to it.
It's like gym floors. I didn't realize it till I went to gymnastics. Like, the people aren't actually flipping 6 foot in the air. They could flip very high, but the floor exercise in the Olympics, the whole floor has a bounce to it.
Yeah.
So like, yes, they are performing incredible feats, but like not as impressive without the bounce.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, most wrestling rings there's a canvas that kind of is strapped down that holds everything on top. There's a piece of foam that varies. Like, I used a 1-inch thick piece of closed cell foam on mine.
Dude, it started way back then with you, man.
And then underneath, it's very, very different foam. We used the pink shit, and you could just see bodies laid out there, right?
It would look cool, man.
Yeah,
He slammed the guy into the ground.
But then there was 2x10s across it, and then underneath there was metal beams. So I mean, you're hitting, you know, metal and wood, and that's how WWE rings are similar. They actually have some of them actually have a spring.
Yeah, that's a spring. It's bouncy.
Some of them do. Not all of them do.
Because I remember I went to Monday Live.
I guess this
Yeah,
one.
back then, because they used 20-foot rings, and they're huge. Like, the one I used was a 16-foot ring. You know, size queen.
My cock ring.
Maybe. Yeah. So, Nerd Week, Joe.
I have a bit because I haven't been here.
Oh yeah.
I feel kind of fucked up today. Yesterday we did a fucking 12 or 14 hour stream. Like, we started first thing. It was 10,000 calorie challenge day, because like once in a while we have community challenges where if enough
how did
people
you do?
raise enough points, 10,028 calories. I feel fucked up today.
What did you eat?
So yeah, we want to know.
You want to know
break
what
it down.
I ate?
No, what you ate?
Yeah, what did you eat?
Yeah, this was.
I thought you said why.
So start out with sausage and cheese McGriddle, 2 hash browns, 2 measuring cups full of eggnog, a funnel cake.
Non-alcoholic eggnog?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Funnel cake.
A virgin eggnog is wild.
Delicious.
Oh,
But it's just a wild
I
concept.
drank.
I mean, they
eggnog
don't
there
sell.
for years.
They sell them non-alcoholic.
I'm sure.
Okay. And then
It's just wild to me to think. Like,
Really?
Just
I will
the
drink it
way-
all year round.
Just
I love eggnog.
Wait a minute. We're getting misled by my intentions. It's the literal name, virgin egg.
Oh.
That sounds crazy to me.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know eggnog was like a adult beverage.
I didn't for years.
Me too, because like you just see it in the grocery stores.
Yeah, and my mom would buy it and we would drink it.
And people are like,
My
You
dad
put alcohol in
never
it.
liked it because he said, "I don't like the way it coats the glass." That's what my dad would always say, because it's so thick. It's like drinking heavy cream.
it is.
Yeah.
It's fucking
With-
delicious. It's thick. It's a
with-
lot of
so-
calories.
So where did that put you?
After that,
Yeah.
3,000.
Okay.
And then
You got a pretty good jump right away.
yeah, right away.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I didn't stop. And
Right.
then I had like fried Oreos. I ate half a Tresh Lush cake. I ate a quarter of a red velvet cake. I had lamb chops, ramen, pork belly, a bunch of chocolate cookies, a bunch of full-bodied soda. I mean, full sugar soda.
Right.
Yeah.
So that doesn't sound like a ton. Like when you started off with the breakfast, I was like, "Oh, this day's gonna get crazy," you know. And then you had some cakes in there, which I'm sure did a number on you.
Yeah,
But like,
and then
but
milk
you know,
with
like-
2 cups of milk with every time I ate
And
cake.
did you do mostly prepackaged stuff just because it was so easy to keep track of what you were,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
or
faster.
restaurant
'cause
food or whatever?
The fried stuff she fried on air, like she was.
Oh, okay.
So that was fun. So I never had a homemade funnel cake. Now that I know that this can be done. She's fucked. She's gonna have to make funnel cake all the time.
Funnel cake's pretty good.
yeah, Outback cheese fries,
Homemade.
Mac. That's what. That's got to be a ton of calories.
But I wish I would have gone to a restaurant. But like you can't stream it, and B, you can't fucking go to a restaurant right now.
Right.
So like, I would have like more meat.
You got to go to the restaurant outside.
Oh, yeah. Are they even letting that? I thought like some
Depends
places
on the
don't,
county.
they don't even let you fucking do that anymore.
I talked to this poor guy, man, this fucking bar owner, and like he was like, man, so his bar is in Baltimore City where they got to close out at 10 p.m. but it's right on the border of Baltimore County, and there's another bar across the street. And he's like, dude, I have to watch my people leave the bar and go across the street.
Oh, that is fucking painful.
Yeah.
That's fucking awful.
I talked to Jose a little bit about it yesterday when we were doing our trial run, because just comparing notes really, and there is a responsible angle for all that, right? Like more people come in late at night to bars, more people, et cetera, et cetera. It's just like for when those chips fall that particular way, that's a fucking kick in the nuts.
It really is. Yeah. It really is.
That'd be good for the other guy, no? Extra customers.
But yeah, cheese fries, pizza. I'm trying to think what I would do to try to
get 10,000. See, the thing is, like, there are things that are very high calories, right? You think they help because they boost your numbers, but they're very filling.
Correct. So like
having cake with milk is like.
Yeah, so that I actually was thinking that. I was like, man, the cake probably didn't make you want to eat after, like,
right?
Yeah.
And then and then just the amount of sweets I ate, like, didn't make me want to eat more sweets.
What day did you do that?
Yesterday.
Been shitting your brains out?
Not yet, but I'm gonna.
It's coming.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm like, I feel fine.
What's your normal daily intake?
Depends.
On average,
2,000.
Okay.
But yesterday I actually felt my body struggling. Even though I felt fine, I don't feel like throwing up or anything, but I'm like, man, my fucking pancreas is working. I can feel my body just fighting or whatever I'm doing to it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's weird. But like, it's streamed for fucking 12 hours. Got my Majic cases put together.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because we were like, what are we going to do? Like, we'll just fucking go around the house, do stuff. Did a house tour. She did a lot of cooking on stream, and then I started putting Majic cases together. That bitch took like the entire. That was 6 hours because I had to take shit apart and put it back together, and there were like already figures in some of them, and you had to be real careful. But like, it's all the cases I've put together now. Finally, it looks great.
Yeah,
the only thing I haven't finished.
It's all put together.
I didn't put it in half shelves yet.
Okay.
Like, because I got a bunch of the real tall units. I've got like half to less than half a shelf to put on the back, so it's like staggered, so you can put more shit in there without looking crowded, without having more blocks.
Right.
But there are a good amount of them, but I'm not doing them right now. I don't need another break because like it's mentally stressful because all of the shit that's in it, and you don't want to fucking break it.
Right. Trust me, I know.
But as I go to like curate these shelves, then I will put the shelves in. I'm not gonna pre-put them in before I have a plan for what's going in them. But that was great because I've been putting that off because I knew it was going to be such a fucking pain in the ass. So the stream was helpful for me that me and Krista worked together on it, and it felt like I was just hanging out with a bunch of people putting the shit together. We had a brofest.
We did. We had a little baby brofest.
Yep. And that shit I haven't put together because I haven't time. But that shit, I did all the measurements. I went home, put stuff on it. Perfect.
Good.
If your boy is your son, your child is looking for work, I might have him.
He tried to
put them
kill
together.
my boy.
I might pay him to put them together if he wants.
That's fine.
Finished the British Bake Off and the holiday specials. Love that show. I can't get enough of it. Talk to Cody about it. They love it. Him and his
Happy birthday, Cody, by the way.
Girl loves it. Dude, which first? Unsolved Mystery Seasons 2. I forgot that was a thing. Started watching it. First few episodes, good, but sadder than I remember. And they had the Supernatural.
So this is the new
season
stuff?
2. Yeah, they had the Supernatural. Remember last time I was like, oh, that's no fucking aliens, and the last episode was aliens. This time, episode 3 was about fucking ghosts of Japan.
Nice. Oh, in the forest mountain?
No, the tsunami.
Oh, okay.
So after the tsunami, when everybody died, apparently there was a lot of fucking sightings where it was reported from everywhere. So they're talking about that. Like a lot of cab drivers be like giving ghost rides and shit. Like people are thinking, yeah, it's like sunny outside, and then this guy who looked like he came from the rain came and won for a ride, and by the time I got there was nobody in the back seat and it was dry, and there was like multiple people who was giving this like same report that aren't related.
That's great. I love it.
But like I didn't finish the episode yet because it got sad because when they talked, the guy was walking around. Yeah, that tree that we found her body hanging over the limb there. I was like, oh, this is not dinner. This is not dinner material.
Yeah.
But it's good. I enjoy Unsolved Mysteries. And there was one episode where they found a body in a landfill, right? And they fucking went ham trying to figure out how they got there. is an important person, right? He worked for one of the Bushes, high up there. I'm like, man, if they found my body on the landfill, they would not, no fucking way, spend that much effort trying to find who killed me.
Right.
Not that they shouldn't try. I'm not saying they're putting too much effort in this guy. I'm
Right.
just seeing the system at work. I'm like, they pulled every fucking camera footage in like throughout states where he took a train through. I'm like, they're not putting effort through every fucking person.
No, definitely not.
They there was something I was going to ask you about that. Maybe it'll come back to me. Continue.
And lastly, we got into a Hannibal bag.
Oh wait, I know what it was before Hannibal. You can watch movies and shit and stream it on Twitch, right?
Yes.
And so like I'm
It's just not music. Music is like
this is because fucking Universal. But like I'm like the way they've locked down music on Instagram recently has been interesting to see kind of from afar. But like, because like people, used to stream like playlists and stuff. Like,
that
shit's out of here.
Well, they're pushing. They want you to do a Reels video now, which you have to select the songs, and you can do songs in your stories. They just don't want you doing live music that's not. And I don't know how people get paid for that, but like, if I want to do a little video or whatever in a story, I can pick pretty much any song you can think of is going to be
from their catalog, right?
Yeah. One ear's not working.
mine to my left.
It's probably the shit.
We need platinum jacks instead of gold.
I might have one more. But it's just going to be interesting for me to see how some of that plays out. Both with all of it with Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, like the new hotness right now is Cyberpunk. The game just dropped.
Yes.
So
some
there,
sideshow stuff for it.
yeah. Keanu is in it.
Who?
Keanu.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised Pinkerton said he's not going to get a Keanu from Cyberpunk to complete his Keanu collection because he has a Keanu collection.
I do. It's tragic.
You should get it.
I'm good.
No, okay. But they actually in the game, in the options, you can turn off DMCA-able music. So like you can stream it, and when we haven't gotten to the point where it needs to be cut out. We're not sure if it's going to be muted, which would be weird going into a club and it's just fucking silent and just people fucking.
I would imagine it's just some generic non-licensed.
Yeah, maybe because for our stream we use non-licensed music to stream stuff. But like it's interesting that gaming companies, CD Projekt Red is a good company, so like I know they're in touch with the community. It makes sense. I'm wondering if more companies would do it, but it's crazy that it's gotten to that point where
it's interesting.
Like we have licensed music for the official game, and if you want to stream it because we know people stream it, here's the version without licensed music.
I mean, that's smart on their part.
Yeah,
I heard
friendly to streamers.
I heard an expression recently that I think is very apt to describe kind of what's going on in regard to that. With like you can't play music on Instagram, of your own music, like that these companies are stepping on a dollar to get a penny. Yeah,
it's very true.
Like if you think about that, like if I have 4,000 followers on Instagram, right? If I go live and I'm like, look, this is my Sunday morning playlist, like you guys should check this song out, whatever. And they're stepping on that because they're not getting the Instagram money.
Penny.
Right. And whereas I might be turning people on to download those songs, purchase those songs, whatever. Like it's just fucking.
I mean, that's why game companies are more progressive that way because like you stream full games. You watch people play an entire fucking game, but game companies don't stop that because they realize it makes people want to buy the game.
Right.
Like people who's never had interest in the game, never heard of the game, because a lot of streamers play indie games or less known games.
Yeah,
and people go out and buy it. So
right.
Like, it's fucking dumb. We almost finished with Helsing Ultimate on Anime Night, by the way. Twitch.
Hannibal.
That's saving that best for last. And one last thing is go along with DMCA line. Twitch Sings is going away. Twitch Sings is in a program on Twitch where it's like karaoke. So like people who sing, there are a lot of great singers on Twitch, or even for funsies, you can sing on stream.
Right.
And it's supposed to be not DMCA-able, but people have been getting strikes. So like that's going away in January.
Yep. Wow.
So like we one of our friends was originally supposed to have a Twitch Sings stream, and she had to move it to Discord, which was fun because it became like a party,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just played YouTube videos and sing to that. But yeah, it's getting crazy with the.
It's
the
just
music
like
stuff.
it's this constant whack-a-mole.
So, Bobby, I think
Move off this platform to this platform.
I think
Move off-
you mentioned that Spotify, if you play music during a podcast on Spotify, that it'll just give them a nickel or whatever. Or
That's what
half a nickel.
That's what I'm guessing.
That's the best way to fucking do it.
Yeah, if they can identify it.
But
Yeah.
they obviously can identify
Yeah,
it.
the algorithms pick it up almost instantly. I mean,
I think part of it is they don't want their music associated with certain things.
yeah, that's
I
fair.
say that, but at the same time, I could post an Instagram video with me, hosing dogs down with whatever and play Who Let the Dogs Out, and that's going to be in the Viscera.
How many times have like calm or like classical type music been played over like people getting murdered for the effect of it?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, so there's a lot of that music is public domain.
Yeah, I'm
know,
just saying, like,
But it's just weird, right? Like
you can
like,
associate anything with anything if you want to.
like that shit's public domain because it was it's fucking hundreds of years old.
Yep.
But like, will anything ever have be public domain again?
No,
You
not
know?
because of Disney.
And thinking about like all this little stuff that we're seeing, like like just last week we talked about Bob Dylan's catalog getting bought up, and he's at the end of his life, so I get it. I there's a number, but it's just there's a lot of that going around. There's a lot of like, I want to buy my shit or I want to sell you my shit. There's a lot of it going around, and I just wonder, what do they know that I don't? You know what I mean? It's like if I walked outside and every house went up for sale, I'd be like, they know something I don't.
Yeah, do I need to sell my house?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do wonder about that.
Indian burial mound.
Well, we do the graveyard.
Don't tell Chris about it. He's very iffy about ghosts. So, through the years, if you get listeners been listening, Krista, my wife, was very sheltered growing up, and I've been trying to catch up on movies and pop culture stuff. I've been doing a pretty good job, but there's still a lot she doesn't know. Never watched any of the Silence of the Lambs stuff, because like a lot of times when references come up that are normal and she doesn't get it, I'm like, oh, I put a mental note, like the three shells. The 3 shells, she didn't get the 3 shells, so we watched Demolition Man.
Right.
We did someone said puts the lotions on the skin, or else he gets the hose again. She didn't get that. I'm like, oh, you don't fucking know. So we watched Silence of the Lamb. Hooked. Same night, Red Dragon. She's like, can we watch another one? And I was like, I'm off tomorrow, bro. You have to work at 7 in the morning. She's like, that's fine.
Right.
We stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning, and we watched Hannibal. I'm choosing not to watch Hannibal Rising.
I agree. It's the right choice.
Is it? Because I'm like, it's not the same actor. I don't know. Not sure if I need it.
It's not terrible, but it does change the way you view the character. I would say if you're happy with how you view Hannibal, leave it alone.
Those are great fucking movies.
They are. But
I got into also because you guys recently.
Yeah. Did you watching them that close together? All great. Agreed.
I watched them in chronological order, I think.
You watched them in release order. I watched them in chronological order.
No, no. We watched it in.
No, you watched it
watched
completely out of order.
We watched Red Dragon first.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it was more modern. I'm like, Silence of the Lamb would be kind of old. I'm not sure if it will have the same impact. Let me have
it's
her watch
still the best
newer.
one. But like,
did you see?
No, dude, I love that. This is them changing.
The dragon took the robot off, and it's like,
do you see? I love that shit.
So
I love Philip Seymour Hoffman. Like, yeah. Will you tell them now about me, about my work? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's great. And it was a little jarring watching back to back that it went from Jodie Foster to Julianne Moore. But Julianne Moore does a great job, but it's just I had to wrap my head around it being the same person.
Did you, watching them all in succession, as I just did, it was obvious to me that Hannibal was weaker than the other two. Still great, but like it definitely seemed the least cohesive.
Yes. It went all over the place. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
But like,
but
I enjoyed the ride.
I've never noticed it before watching them a year apart or whatever. I'm like, because
10 years apart, years apart.
Because they're all great, But when I watched them in order, I was like, oh yeah, this is a weaker link.
Yeah.
Well, so much so that we started Hannibal, the TV show.
I heard it's good,
and I love Matt Mikkelsen. So again, up till like 2 o'clock in the morning, we're like 7 episodes in.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. And
like we don't really usually like live action shit.
Yeah.
But like because
aside from Casino,
Of course.
Nice.
Casino
Very
Stanley.
But she loves Hannibal, the character, I guess, and the whole universe. And we love Mads Mikkelsen, so
Yeah.
it's been really good. It's just that
You
the
put
character.
you put your feet up on my friend's fucking table. I love it.
Some of the character change.
You shit kicking motherfucker, you
Motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
motherfucker. Anyway,
It's just having to get used to different characters. Like, because the main character in Hannibal is Ed Norton's character.
yes.
Yeah, but like they're a bit different. Like he like in this show, he's a lot less put together. You know, like in Red Dragon, he has a wife and family. In this show, he's a lot more artistic.
Oh, I got you.
But I'm like, maybe this is a character growth of how he became more normal with the help of Dr. Lecter.
And did you pick up that Mason Verger is a fucked with kids?
Who?
Mason Verger, the Gary Oldman.
Oh yeah.
I had never noticed that
Yeah.
before. I'd never noticed that before. But that like
Show me the smile that wins the.
gains you the trust of a child. Or
I
confidence.
mean, that's the thing. Like, it's weird because Hannibal like does two things. He just fucking kills people that annoys him.
Yep.
He kills to eat. Apparently, he's been killing to eat people. He's been eating people forever.
Yeah.
And he also does public services.
Yeah. He does have a code.
Yeah, he definitely has a code.
You know,
and
and
that's
this
why
is-
he didn't kill Clarice, and that's why he chopped his own hand off at the end. Spoiler alert.
And even when she was talking about it, she was like, he would find it rude. I don't know how to explain
But
it.
she gets him. I
She's
think,
like, he might come for you. He won't. He would find it rude. I don't know how to explain it.
but she gets him. Maybe that's why he likes her so much.
Yeah.
But like he was like, you're incorruptible.
Yeah.
Like you're this pure thing. I'm gonna chop my own hand off.
Yeah.
And then he fed the little Asian kid brains.
Yeah. He didn't want to, but he didn't put up much of a fight either. But
No.
a little bit of a fight.
But I think he liked the kid. Oh, you're a little bit weird like me.
Yeah, he's like, my
Have
mom
some
said I should
people.
try new things. I was like, oh, I guess your mother knows best.
Dude. Those are great. I forgot how great they were.
Yeah, they're
because
good.
I also watched them for a part, but like I like the Hannibal show so far. And the head doctor of the psychiatric ward is in this show too, also a different actor. But I picked them on that right away because they acted the same.
Right.
So, but I recommend. There's only 3 seasons and done. So it was easy
I
for me to
didn't know
jump
it went
into.
to 3 seasons.
Yeah, I watched an episode of it, and I was like, this is really good.
Yeah.
If I was into shows, I would watch this.
And it's an overall arcing thing. There are like episodic elements to it, but every
Because
episode
the first episode like opens up on a murder in a house. And
Yes.
Yeah. So I remember it because it was good.
it's great.
We do have some notes. It's a lot, but I'm gonna try. Yeah, but I'm
Wow.
gonna try to streamline it the best we can. Disney Plus is increasing to an $8 a month charge. How do we feel about that?
I mean,
How do you feel? I'm on your account.
I want you to cover that dollar.
it's $1.
I'll send you $1. Let me set up a recurring payment, $1 a month.
It's $12 a year.
Yeah,
Quick maths.
yeah. I think that
Based on what they're gonna offer,
Yeah.
I think it's well worth an extra $1.
Yeah, I do too. I'm good with it. They're bringing a ton to market on that
ridiculous.
platform, and it's all at the very least fun to watch. So I'll be honest with you.
Is
it's
it worth
like,
$1?
I'll be honest with you. Like, here's the thing: is like sometimes I'm like, I probably shouldn't even say it here, but sometimes I'm like, I would do my job for a lot less money, but I don't want them to know that.
Same.
You know,
Same.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
and like that's kind of how I feel about Disney Plus. Like, I would pay a lot more money for this, but I don't want them to know that. So that's interesting. Then there's this other stuff going on with HBO Max that people have kind of come out with thoughts about it, and one of those thoughts has been Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, I saw that he had come out with some stuff.
Yeah, so I have mixed feelings about this. He basically said, "I went to bed." I don't know. I'm going to butcher the quote, I'm sure. But in a manner of speaking, he said, "I went to bed working for the greatest movie studio and woke up working for the lamest streaming service."
Yeah, something along those lines. Is
Something
what he
along
had said.
those lines. And I have mixed feelings about it. On one hand, I understand him when you contractually like agree to something with a studio.
Right.
You expect them to hold up their part of the bargain as they expect you to hold up your part.
Sure.
I also understand, and Chris, you may not be aware, but these are unprecedented times. These times right now, they're unprecedented. This is an unprecedented time.
So can something be precedented? Because you don't hear that much.
Yeah, you don't hear that in these regular precedented times.
Yeah, these are regular times.
So, like, I get that, like, you know, they're trying to stay afloat, you know, and, like, it's like, what, you know, it's like, do you want the whole ship to fail, or do you want to, like, what movie theaters are you going to put them in anyway?
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
But I understand, like, I understand if you work something hard on something and you don't want it to be consumed. If I busted my ass on this fucking, or my wife busted our ass on this pasta the other night, right? Making the dough, rolling it out, getting it right, flattening it to just 3 millimeters and running, you know what I mean? Like, busted our ass. And if I, like, served it to you and you're like, I'm going to put this in the microwave real quick, I think I would feel a way about it.
I think that's how people feel when you put ketchup on their steak.
So I think so too. It's a perfect example also.
Yeah, it is.
And so I get why he would feel like I'm not creating this thing to be consumed like fast food.
But
I get
that,
up to the
but
consumer. Just like you like ketchup on your steak, people like to consume things that way, and it's not up to
yes, here's my.
But there's contracts.
Contracts aside, yeah, you created Tenet to be shown in IMAX, whatever. You know what's going to happen a year after the movie's out, anyways. You're going to watch it on TV, and a year after that, it's going to be on fucking TNT with commercials for diapers and fucking boner pills.
Yeah.
So get off your fucking high horse, understand the situation, and be glad that they're going to be able to show it to you at all. Yeah. And if your contract's fucked up, then you need to talk to them about your contract.
Yeah, but I agree.
At the same time, though, like, I saw a commercial last night for it's a Tom Hanks, it's a Western, it has Tom Hanks in it.
Okay.
And it says only in theaters in January or some shit. So, like, well, I guess this isn't a Warner Brothers title.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I get it. I get both sides of it. You know,
as
like,
an artist, right?
Yeah. I understand why you don't want your shit viewed this way. It's not how you envisioned it, and that does have, aside from contractual obligations, there is some inherent value to that.
Sure.
You know, it's kind of like there is an element of it that is cheapening it, but at the same time, this is a business. The one monkey may not be able to stop a show, but one virus is stopping the show.
Yep.
And the show must go on.
Or the show's going to go away.
Right. So it's like, I think everybody's in a tough spot. I'm sure that it's not how Warner Brothers wants to do business.
Yep.
You know, I think that everybody right now is acting out of have to.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And but I am sympathetic. I am sympathetic that, you know, you work on something, you have a vision of something. You know, like if I was painting a piece and like oh, when you finish this piece, it's going to go on Times Square, and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm going to pour my heart and soul into this, and then I give it to them. They're like, actually, we're just going to we're going to put it on a postcard and send it to everybody's house. You know what I mean? I get it. Yeah. I get it. Then there's some other kind of interesting stuff going on with HBO Max in regards to this. Dune director Dennis someone blast HBO Max in a scorching op-ed with Jason Momoa and Josh Brolin expressing support for him. It says Dune director fired off a scathing essay Thursday night that blasted Warner Brothers' decision to stream its entire. So it's the same shit. And with this decision, AT&T has hijacked one of the most respectable and important studios in film history. There's absolutely no love for cinema nor the audience here. It's all about the survival of a telecom mammoth, one that is currently bearing an astronomical debt of more than $150 billion. Therefore, even though Dune is about cinema and audiences, AT&T is about its survival on Wall Street. It's like I get it. I get. Once again, it's the same kind of shit. It's just more of it.
And also, like, to just,
and that shows a little bit of light on the business side that we haven't really discussed.
Well, Yeah, I'd be interested to see like if that director has a back end deal on that movie, I would be pissed.
Yeah.
But if he got paid X amount of money to make that movie and he's gotten paid from a financial standpoint and a contract standpoint, if he's gotten what he's supposed to get, okay, cool. Mouth off all you want, but do you own this? Did he own all the cameras that they shot it with?
Yeah.
Did he pay the actors out of his pocket?
Right.
And also like it's for the cinema and audience, I'm sure, but it's also for the money, bro. You got paid.
Yeah.
Y'all got paid well. I'm assuming,
Did
right?
Did he individually hand drawn CGI all the sand in that movie? Bobby, it gets everywhere, even digitally.
I know.
It gets everywhere. It's like
I mean,
you'll be cleaning up, you'll be editing. Like, God damn, there's sand in
when
here.
you name a movie after a pile of it.
Exactly. Oh, is that not? I thought that it's not the Cara Dune backstory.
No, that's coming on Disney Plus soon.
Okay.
But also, to finish up this Warner Brothers trifecta, Warner Brothers has completed its investigation into the Justice League situation. It says complete its investigation. It led to remedial action, adding some we've seen and some is still to come.
It's very vague booking there.
Yeah. Warner Brothers appreciates you having the courage to come forward and assist the company with creating an inclusive and equitable work environment for its employees and partners. So, not a real hot button, but I guess they found something to substantiate something. Is how it seems.
Yep.
But I will say that like if AT&T is having financial issues and they are, just to add another, it doesn't change how I feel about it. Unprecedented times, Chris. We've already
Unprecedented.
We've already agreed it's unprecedented. But if they are using Warner Brothers to try to make up money that they have squandered on other ventures, then I get why people are upset about that as well.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like if DMH was having problems and I was making fucking the Skullface channel suffer to work out that, it's shitty. It's shitty all around, and it's unprecedented, Chris.
Yeah, it is, Bobby. It's unprecedented.
Look, let's talk about some positive stuff for a minute, because that's all a bit dreary. All of the reveals.
Yeah, I don't think we need
it?
to go through with a fine-tooth comb because it's a lot.
Yeah, I don't think we do. I don't think we need to either. But
and they.
So let's go.
I want to ask you a question.
Okay, yeah.
Do you like this presentation, or would you rather them give you a couple, like, oh, here's 2 things that are coming. Oh, and 2 weeks later, here's. And I know this was an investor call, and
Correct.
they're like, here's everything.
Here's where your money is.
One more dollar.
Here's where your money is, right?
Also, I also found it very interesting that of all that I'm aware of, only one of those is anything theatrical related. It's all going to the streaming service. So I think
On Star Wars, or
well,
there's
I
a
know
Marvel and a Star
right.
Wars.
What on Marvel is going to the theater that they showed?
They talked about Eternals and Black.
Okay.
That's the stuff we've already known. Oh, Fantastic Four.
Okay, maybe I missed that, but I know on the Star Wars stuff, all that there's one movie coming out in the theatrical movie.
Now, I want to make sure on one thing, because it's Rogue Squadron, right? That's what is Acolyte? Is that a series or is that a movie? That was another one I was unsure of.
I have to look.
All right, if you wouldn't mind,
Yeah, I'll look it up.
checking that one real quick.
I have a phone here.
Have you looked at any of it, Joe?
Not all of it, but yeah, and some of it.
So Cassian Andor series, we've heard that was coming, and it sounds like it's still coming.
It is. Actually, there's a
brief behind the scenes.
yeah, and the actor is actually executive producing it, which is cool because he said he was like, I was kind of bummed that was it.
Yeah, so were we.
Well, that's what he said. That's what he's like. Yeah, we went to the premiere, and it's like, oh, I'm never going to work with these people again in this capacity.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to tell some backstory about Cassian.
And I love it. Give me more. I love that character. I love K2SO. I love the two of them. I like a duo.
But you always want to get away from the era, though.
That's true. But within of all the things circulating around the era, it's kind of at least something that I'm a little bit more interested in.
The Acolyte is the Star Wars television series currently being developed. The show will focus on emergence of dark side powers in the final days of the
High Republic,
which is
after the Old Republic.
Yeah. That's still
that's like
that's
it's
new grounds.
But yeah, it's new grounds.
So it's 300 to 3. It's basically 300 years of BBY.
Right. And they're talking about, and everything is getting launched around that too. So there's a Marvel Comics series regarding the High Republic coming, novels. It's a huge rollout for this era, which is why I'm kind of surprised there's no feature film.
It said it's a mystery thriller that may follow the rise of Palpatine or a far worse Sith. Or a far worse.
There we go. It was like,
Have you ever heard
I don't want to
the
see a young
tale of
Palpatine.
Darth Plagueis? Maybe we get to see him like romantically involved.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta say too much by the look in your eyes. I can tell you wanna fuck a Sith. Hold my lightsaber while I unrobe.
Roll my planets around in a circle.
I'd like to find your wormhole.
Oh my god. It's worse if they actually have worms. The thing about it is, all right, so here's so Kenobi series. Yep, good.
And, well, the Hayden Christensen's going to be in that.
Yes. Or is it yes,
Obi-Wan.
yes, Hayden Christensen is reprising his role as Vader for that show.
That'll be interesting to see how that is all. I wonder if it's going to be through flashbacks because
or like they never come in contact, but their stories are somehow intertwined because like I think there's verbiage that they can't see each other.
Okay,
I think I'd have to go back and go with a fine tooth comb.
Is John Cena involved?
yeah. But like I don't know. I mean I'm excited about that one enough. I do worry about like how good it could possibly be story wise. Although I think character wise it could be great.
yes,
If that makes any almost like the inverse of Mandalorian. And then Ahsoka series.
of course.
Yeah.
I kind of called that, right? We
Yep.
kind of knew that was coming.
And look, at this point, I can't have enough. My cups still have plenty of room before it runneth over for Ahsoka. If they pick up with Thrawn stuff, even more interesting to me.
Right.
And then there were the droids. You see that? There's like I didn't read all this shit, but there's something called
So
droids.
much.
It's like a Star Wars a droid story. There is a Star Wars animated. It's anime. Called Visions.
Yeah, it's a bunch of different artists doing short stories.
Oh, like Animatrix.
Yes.
be a good way to put it.
That was a Batman
did-
one, yeah.
that was good too. Yep. But I would be interested in that because like I think there's a lot of little short bursts of stories you could tell that could be pretty interesting, and without getting, really tangled up in something. It could just be like this, just fast food,
Quick.
just a little piece of fast food.
The Rangers of the New Republic.
Rangers of the New Republic. I'm not sure.
Doot,
How,
doot, 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 doot. Finally
Oh, yeah.
happening, guys. It's going to be canon.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't know enough about it.
There's a Lando series.
Lando series.
Yep.
I wonder if Glover is going to do that.
I would assume
this article
so.
says probably a good idea since Glover's amazing and they're smart to lock him down.
Yeah.
But who knows?
It'll be really crazy for it not to be though at
Yeah.
this point.
And
Because
of course,
it's so close together.
We knew about the Bad Batch, but they, that's apparently coming pretty quick.
Yeah, that's great. I'm
Is it animated?
yeah. And then I do wish that instead of Lando we were getting a solo continuation of that story because
Yeah.
I would like
Well,
to see where that story
maybe it'll
Who knows?
crossover, as it were. And then is that it?
That's all the Star Wars.
And then there was a Willow and Indiana Jones thing, and then of Children of Blood and Bone. I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is?
No.
Your children are usually made of blood and bone.
Yeah, I hope so. That's fucking cyborg kids. Get them the fuck out of here. Unless they've lost their limb in a terrible accident, Joe. In that case, I don't.
You're somebody's like, well, my friend has a kid who has no blood and bone. How dare
Then
you?
there was then there was Marvel stuff.
So WandaVision.
Got
Did
more
you
of
see
that.
the trailer?
I did not.
Fucking crazy. There's a ton of shit in there.
Yeah,
Ton of stuff. A lot of
I'm looking forward to
different
that.
characters.
I'm looking forward to that. There's a a bunch of other shows. What if they showed some of the animation
animated
to What If
thing. There's of course Falcon and Winter Soldier. There's a trailer for
Loki.
that. The Loki trailer looks really cool.
Agreed.
He's going to be working with the Time Cops or something.
Yeah.
It's the TVA, which is not the Tennessee Valley Authority.
Okay, because I was confused.
Well,
he wasn't New York.
That's who built all the dams in the South so people could live and have water. And then What If looks cool, and there's a Hawkeye show.
Now, if it's based off that comic,
well, it's maybe that would be cool.
Yeah.
It says it follows Hawkeye after the events of Endgame, training up his daughter Kate Bishop, which will end up being And then the Ms. Marvel show, which there's nothing else really to say about that. I know they've cast a Pakistani American.
Yeah, I mean that's
to play
true
the
to
role.
form. I believe.
Yep,
I don't know if she's Pakistani. But to be fair, the character.
Yeah, I think that's what that was saying.
Is she? I thought she was.
And then
part of it.
Moon Knight.
Yeah, see, and that's Moon Knight is cool, and that's where I like that stuff. Like, there's all sorts of like tricky conversations to navigate in that stuff. Moon Knight is potentially
She-Hulk?
exciting. Yeah, and now She-Hulk, Tim Roth is coming back to
As
play the
Abomination.
Abomination,
Huh.
which is interesting.
That is
And,
interesting.
Secret Invasion, which has Sam Jackson and I don't know who Ben Mendelsohn is. I don't know who that is.
That sounds familiar.
Oh, he plays a Skrull.
okay.
Oh, okay.
Plays Talos. So, and then Ironheart, which is the girl that takes over for Iron Man.
Yep.
And then Armor Wars,
Yeah,
Armor
which
Wars.
apparently Don Cheadle's been attached to.
Armor Wars was.
He's another one of those guys I can watch. He's like a Gary Oldman to me. I can just pretty much watch him do anything.
And then
You ever seen a movie called Brooklyn's Finest? Real quick, while we're talking about Don Cheadle.
you've talked about it a lot. I've never watched it.
Big fan.
I Am Groot. This is the last one of that. So
and we forgot the one Star Wars movie that they also announced the Boba Fett and the Mandalorian go to Mandalore to find Mandalorian armor and look for other Mandalorians, and maybe Boba Fett and Mandalore will bump into Darth Maul while on Mandalore looking for Mandalorians.
and the zombie Jango Fett Force Ghost.
Oh yes.
It's a very long title, but they're pretty sure it's going to work.
Yeah. Formumatic, or however you say that.
Yeah. They allowed the algorithms to pick the.
Hey, that's supposedly how Stranger Things got made. Is they used their algorithms based on what people had liked,
I believe that,
and they had the show written around the algorithms.
I
Worked
think
out
there's rumors that
for them.
a lot of their shows have been done that way.
I wouldn't doubt it.
We do have some questions this week. So there was one that we missed last week, and I thought we had, and I apologize. But it's from Sean W. He says, "Hey, NRR crew, big fan. A lot of discussions I've seen about this season of The Mandalorian has centered around fan service, and the same old arguments come up. Some people are all about it, others criticize it for being lazy. Personally, I can see both sides. When I think of Darth Vader's rampage from Rogue One with my movie lover hat on, it's pretty nonsensical and out of nowhere. When I think of it as a Star Wars fan, it's something I've always wanted to see." And that got me to thinking. Disney is going to recast Return of the Jedi, Luke, Han, and Leia someday, post-Return of the Jedi. It's just inevitable. We'll still get some sequel-era stuff here and there, maybe some Old Republic stuff, but Disney is never going to stray away from the original trilogy for very long.
Right.
And they can only play around in the margins of that era for so long without revisiting the main characters. Well, that is, of course, Chris, until I get my Ifant Mon series, which then learning his name will have paid off, and I'll be the one laughing.
Which one's Ifant Mon?
He's got like a long face. Like you say, why the long face? If you ever bumped into him, like his face, like his eyes are up here, and then like his mouth like comes way down, like by his knees, and then out.
Okay, yes.
He's got like hippo.
It's just
teeth.
remember Elephant Man, Ifant Mon.
Yeah.
That's pretty lazy.
He said there's probably some exec somewhere right now with a note scribbled in their notebook saying Ahsoka has to meet Anakin's kids at some point, right? With a question mark. So I say all that to ask this. If this does happen, whether we're into it or not, what's the best way for it to happen? Television or movies? Occasional guest appearances for special events, or a New Republic story where they're always present but a smaller part of an ensemble? Or do you just say fuck it at that point and dedicate an entire show movie to the adventures of 30-something Luke? Thanks for the laughs, and please stay safe. I think a show is probably the best way to do it, only because you start getting in the muddy waters of like, well, this is episode 6.0 5. This is episode
we're already getting there.
6.75.
It's getting muddy already, to be honest.
And also, they mean like assuming 10 years from now when they get to this, like fucking facial replacement is gonna be so easy that it's gonna be getting so good that it's gonna be common.
Well,
we're gonna see
fair.
their faces.
I'll tell you, the guy who plays Winter Soldier is Mark Hamill's.
I think they could do it. I think he could do.
If they missed that casting, they missed it big.
I'm not. So like, here's my thing. I'm not even against that. Like, as much as I want to get away from original trilogy stuff, like recasting those characters, I'm on board with it. And like,
I mean, they did with Solo, kind of. You
yeah,
know?
it doesn't bother me because it's fresh. You know, like I've said this before, but like I'm less interested in seeing people's faces digitally mapped over with other people's faces than I am seeing like just give me a new performance of this character.
They don't even need faces, right, Joe? Just
exactly.
That still fucks with him. You can tell.
Morphous blobs just moving in no sequence with voices.
But I think that like those characters are bigger than any actor.
Yeah, and also like I don't know, there is a thing with recognition. Like that character has been that character for so long, and that face has been that character for so long that you're gonna be kind of stuck with it.
It is, but like I really enjoyed the Solo kid.
Yeah.
You know, and people love Glover as Lando. You know, so like I don't know. I think there's hope.
It's doable. It's just,
but I think either way, I'd prefer it to be a series. I think there is a story to tell there. There's a story about Han. It's probably a better story, to be fair, about Han and Leia and dealing with Kylo and who they became as people.
Right.
I think there's a better story to tell there with how Luke's school went left, like how Snoke rose. I think there's a lot of good soil to overturn there.
I mean, I think even the Mandalorian is picking at that scab a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think, between that and if Ahsoka's in that same timetable and this Rangers of the New Republic is as well. I mean, I would not be surprised if some of those characters don't show up. I think if you hear their name mentioned, they're going to wander into the show, whether it's just a one-time thing or if it's, something heavier than that.
There's a lot of like Force Friday conversations I've been having recently regarding the other possibilities for the sequel trilogy, right? Trevorrow's Episode 9 and Lucas's sequel trilogy, and kind of comparing and contrasting. And honestly, I don't really think Lucas had a plan. I'm just being honest.
It was just to go as
I think like as years go by, his plan becomes more.
Of course, that's what we wanted.
I was gonna do. I would be fucking stupid not to do that. But like, I think that Trevorrow's isn't much better. Even though a lot of people have rose-colored glasses with it. But one thing that I loved that he did was that the stormtroopers were going to turn. And, like, it would have been redemption for the clones almost. Like, and I do think that that's an interesting beat that I had never considered that would have been a really good moment, especially because of how many trooper fans there are.
Yes.
Thank you for the question, Sean. We have two more. One was from James G. Actually, he's got a rapid fire, so we'll save him for last. Keith said, this is two totally separate questions, so can be asked in different episodes. I'm going to do it now, Keith, because a good chance I'll lose it. I was curious when you guys learned that Santa, learned that Santa wasn't who he was led to believe. And on the flip side, have any of yours or Pinkerton's kids asked if he is real or not? I asked because my 7-year-old caught us off guard and said that he didn't think Santa was real because every time he sees him, he looks a little different. I love that. Have you ever been in a relationship with someone who wasn't supportive of you? Okay, that's question one. So
I've got two that are out already. My oldest two are out, and Charlie's 7. And he asked my wife the other day, "How old are you when you?" What did he say? He said something like phase out or something. Phase out of Santa Claus, something like that. And Kelly's just like, look, as long as you believe in Santa, Santa's still gonna come.
And
I've told my other two, I said, if you know, you fucking play along. If you stop playing along, gifts stop coming.
Yeah, Jaina knows. Although, like, I think she wants to believe.
Yeah,
like she knows, but she also likes the idea of magic, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, do you want a fucking 14-year-old to believe in Santa Claus though?
No, but we asked her to do the Elf on the Shelf bit for the kids this year, and she was like, I do it? And we're like, you don't think it's fucking real, do you? And she was like, well, no, but I like it being real. You know, is what she said. I'm like, you're mentally ridiculous. but like,
She wants to play along. Role play.
Yeah. She likes. I mean, she likes the spirit of it all. But
so we don't have the elf. But
I've
we
never
have,
heard that till Bobby.
We have. It's wildly popular. We have this little Mickey Mouse. It's a Christmas, and then it's Magic Mickey. So he moves around every night.
Magic Mickey sounds like a street name.
He's got the cocaine.
He might be. He is in all white with a bow tie. But Mason's actually taking over, moving him around every night. And also, he's just saved my ass a couple times when I've forgotten. I heard something wild. Well, it's not really wild. It's kind of funny. I don't remember who said it, but they said when they were a kid, all their presents came from Santa, and once they figured out, all their presents came from mom and dad. So it just like it was a channel shift.
Yeah. So it's funny. There's an interesting dynamic that I have. For one, Jana, I have made it clear to her because she's asked me questions in the past. You know, like, so a man who lives in the North Pole year round has little people that work for him. And together they create enough product to distribute to everybody of the, and like all,
with labeled as made in China.
yeah. And I've said, I'm not sure how he does it, to be honest. I'm not sure. But one thing I know for sure, if you don't believe, you don't receive.
Right.
Bars.
And never heard a problem out of her after that. You know what I mean?
And, we always, getting everything ready. And I always had this in my head, like, okay, if we get caught here, it's the easy out is, listen, think about it. Santa can't do all this, so he just has parents help.
Yeah.
We just help him out. That's why the mall Santas look different, because he just recruits people to help him because he can't be in every mall at the same time.
And I've said to her, like I don't give a fuck if they're 35. You know what I mean? like I'm telling you, like if they're as long as I don't have to hear it, Santa still bring them something.
Yeah.
But what's funny is my wife and I will get into a beef every now and then because like I like the big gift to be from Santa.
I don't want that motherfucker taking credit for nothing.
And that's how my wife feels. Is like, no, we're giving him this. I'm like, God, we're still giving it to him. What do you want, the pat on your back? Like, just make it from Santa, make it magical, But it's funny because she's like, no, this one's from us. I'm like, they're all from us. What are you, like, all right. And then the next question was, have you ever been in a relationship with someone who wasn't supportive of your collecting or have had any issues with your current significant other? My fiance is not supportive at all and hates it.
Oh.
And then he says, thanks, guys. I look forward to hearing the podcast every week. Keep up the hard work. Have a great holiday season. You do the very same.
Fiance.
Who is that?
Keith.
I'm sorry, Keith. Do I know Keith?
I don't think so. Is it Keith? All I have here is Keith, and then there's a series of numbers after his name. But like, so here's the thing.
It's a tough.
It is tough
to give advice because like when you love a person and you're in a relationship.
So I mean,
like this is your life choices, bro.
Yeah.
That's a serious.
It is.
Like, I mean, collecting is it's a hobby, but it's part of who you fucking are.
Yeah,
you're
it is.
into it.
It is.
Like you're giving up a part of yourself to be with somebody else. Like, there's got to be a fine balance somewhere.
Yeah. So I have.
Kelly was super like when I first started doing the podcast and shit. She was like, "What the fuck?"
I mean, does she hate it though?
She did not care for it at all.
No, she didn't.
I don't know if hate was the word, but
I can see a lot. I know a lot of people whose hobbies are indifferent to their significant others. They're like, yeah, that's their thing they do. Like, she's into Pilates, whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I think a lot of it now is that.
And I think that's fine. People have different
It is. People have different interests.
But they hate it. And they prevent you from doing it, or they make you feel guilty for doing it. That's a whole different story.
No, it's never been like that.
That's talking about Keith.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, if Lord knows I'm not the one to give relationship advice, but if collecting is important to you and having this stuff is important to you, express that to your fiance.
Yeah.
And if she's like, nope, shit's got to go, then you got a decision to make, bro.
Man.
Well, I'm not sure if she's saying that it's got to go, but she can still hate it.
But the stress of that, knowing you get a new figure in, you're like, I want to sit down and
hide it,
you got another one, huh?
Yeah.
So then you feel guilty and you hide it, and then you have you're paying for an apartment just to put your collection in, and now she finds out and she thinks you're fucking other bitches, but you actually just wanted this apartment to put your toys in so you could go over there on Saturday afternoons and play with your toys and not get shit. This has never happened.
Specific. Yeah, this is very specific, bro. Very specific.
Or you have I guarantee you. I'm going to reference back to you people making fun of people's collections.
You people? What do you mean you people?
You four dummies people. there's a guy in one of those that has it's a really nice. It's all glass. It's not Detolfs, but it's some other kind of glass cases.
Shy Jetfire. I know you're talking about it.
Yeah. And I was just looking around at that. I'm like, where in his house is this?
Yeah, we said the same thing.
Right. But in my head, I was like, I wonder who in this world pays a fucking storage unit fee just to have a collection so they can go
look at it. It'll be a private museum. It's kind of cool.
Exactly.
It's just a temperature control part.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they make indoor, temperature controlled.
Hit up Dante if you want a good.
Yeah.
There you go.
So this actually raises a couple of questions for me. I could talk about this subject.
Yeah,
for a while.
I want to get into this.
So I don't have that problem. However, I can tell you that the first time my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, and not even my girlfriend, we were just talking, came over to my house. I want to set the scene. So my house was, I've said this before, my house was kind of a clubhouse. Like my back door stayed open, so to speak. And like people just came and went. People just came all night long.
Good times.
Yeah. My wife came over with her friend, threw the sliding glass door back, peeled back the curtains, walked into the basement, and there sat me and Brutus having a 40K battle on the floor. And I can tell you, she wasn't feeling it. She wasn't feeling it. Any cool points that I had in her mind of who I was, I immediately lost.
And how old were you?
15.
Yeah, that's okay.
15 years old. And to be fair,
it matters a lot more at 15 also.
She's been supportive of that hobby in years prior, like, years post, like after that, like, but it was still definitely her least favorite thing that I was into. Cause like Star Wars, like she didn't love it like I love it, but she enjoyed watching the movies or whatever. And DC, she actually really enjoys. And then Marvel, she's happy to sit down and watch it and, kind of move on with her day. But like it is nice that we have DC because she'll cry watching DC movies. Like she's into it. She's invested, which is nice. But like sometimes I think that is just to address this, and then I want to pivot a little bit. But that's the key is finding the selling point. Because like if I was to like say, Laura, like watch Batman the Animated Series with me, she'd be like, like really like But if I was like, hey, watch Man of Steel. And she's like, okay, it's a movie. It's 2 hours. I sit down and watch it, and, we cuddle and do, you know what I mean? Like, there's other part to it. Like, and then that was like an entry point. It wasn't Man of Steel. It was Nolan movies, I think. But, like, do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, there was a, for a lot of it, there's like a little cost of entry. Like, Transformers, she's not crazy about. But she likes what the Transformers has done for our personal lives. Mm-hmm. Like, that we've made friends through the Transformers and that, like, all that. But
everyone at the table.
Always finding the little, like, selling point of something. But what I take from this and move on is that, like, I'm sure there's stuff of hers that you're not into 100%, but you support. And, I would try to, like Chris said, address that element of it. My question to this is, how hard is it to have a relationship with someone that you guys aren't into the same shit? And when I say that, I mean like don't like the same music, maybe have different political views. Like
I see that sometimes it's weird to me.
I think about that shit
fucking
all the
weird
time, and I'm like, how does that work?
And like, I mean, especially for me because I'm like, me and my wife is like so the same, like 98% the same. That like, so I'm spoiled at that range. I know that people who aren't into everything together, but it's wild to me that some people are completely not into the same things. Like, how do you live your life?
Because I think it's like, so for instance, like my wife and I don't like the same music. However, we have a pretty big Venn diagram.
Yeah, it's a crossover.
That we do like. But even aside from that, it's not really a big deal because she doesn't need music the way that I need it. Mm-hmm. So she can, we're listening to music I don't like is like you might as well just hit my hand with a hammer over and over again. That's how it feels.
Like West Coast rap?
No, I can tolerate that. but yeah, I mean
country music.
Some.
It's case by case basis, but like shit like Who Let the Dogs Out, for instance, you brought up earlier, that would drive me nuts. Like that is like hit my hand
on
with
repeat.
A hammer.
What if it was a 30-minute loop of just the hook?
Terrible. Terrible. I love that Kanye poopity scoop shit that plays for like 24 hours, and in the comments it was like my favorite part is 6 hours 34 minutes.
Yes, that's the best cut.
But like, I do think about that, like how, like I watched a interview with his family. It was on something, and like
The vampire.
yeah, this one, the wife was voting for Biden, hardcore, and the husband was voting for Trump, hardcore.
How do you live in the same house?
And like, yeah, how does that? How
do you raise your family?
Yeah, and what do
those
those kitchen table conversations look like? Like, I want to be privy to that because like I'm lucky that things that are super important to me and super important to her were either both into or not bothered by the other's interest in them.
Yeah.
You know? And there's been shit that she's done, like when she got like into like the oils and all that shit. Like I was like, and kombucha.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I'm not into it.
Yeah, but you're like, you do your
looks
thing,
like
right?
a fucking face hugger sitting on the couch. You know what I mean? Like I'm not into it.
Well, I mean, like Kelly, some of the stuff is like she loves Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's like she loves it. I can tolerate it.
Right.
I'm not a fan at all. Like a lot of the stuff she's into, I take it or leave it. But I'm willing. You know, like I told her, I was like, I'll sit and watch the movie with you.
Right.
I will watch it once a year. We didn't even get to it, but I owe her a watch of that. You hear me, Kelly? I'll watch it whenever you want, but just once a year. No, I'm kidding. But you mean like you
don't hate and detest it.
I don't hate and detest anything. It's very very little that I'm very simple. I guess with that is, I'll go with the flow. Music. She doesn't like some of the shit I like, but I don't like some of the shit. Like she likes listening to classical music and stuff like that. I can take it or leave it. If it's on, that's fine. But kind of a Venn diagram thing too. A lot, pretty much.
I think relationships are
ignorant
Venn
ass,
diagrams, right?
ignorant ass Southern rap. We both grew up with that, so we both enjoy Lil Jon and the East Side Boys and just dumb shit like that.
Yeah,
because that's what we grew up on.
But I do think about it. And I think it is like it's all about finding the balance. And like my wife's like super into plants right now. It's like one of her bags. And like I'm like I like it. I like watching her organize the space and same shit,
I'm
right?
in the same bag right now. It's like even if you don't like something, you don't have to actively dislike or hate on it. You can be supportive of the person you love that they love something.
Yeah, I would say that
like,
if she hates it the way that you're kind of expressing that's probably
an issue.
That's probably a talk that you should have.
And like unless it's like I don't know your life, is it financially burdening you? Is she like, this money should have gone towards a wedding or whatever
the fuck? Is it a space issue? Or are you in a, I mean, we don't know your situation, dude. If you're in a 1-bedroom apartment and, you've got fucking Fans Toys boxes stacked to the ceiling. Totes.
Stacked.
And that's a different story versus like she hates it because like she just doesn't like, she thinks it's nerdy or she doesn't think adults should do it. It's different. Why she hates it.
You brought up a good point. Maybe if you don't have it on display and you're just buying shit and put it in a tote, she doesn't fucking understand what you're doing.
The curation of the space is so important, man. And I have people in my house all the time that are not into this stuff. People I work with,
super spreaders, right?
Yeah, super spreaders. Yeah. People that I work with and people that I grew up with that I can tell you have no interest. But when they come down here, they're like, fuck, this is, whatever this is, it's serious.
Yeah.
It's not a joke.
I mean, it's just like walking into a sports fan room, like where they have a whole basement full of sports memorabilia. It's like, I don't get it, but like, I get
or like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, dude, like, because in my mind, the way I think, when I walk in somebody that has like a cigar collection, which I've seen.
I'm on
like,
display and
I'm like, dude, there's not enough days in the fucking, they're going to go bad before you get to smoke all these things.
Right.
Like, oh, no, I'm not smoking these. This was a one of one. I'm smoking everything.
I'm just taking one puff of every goddamn thing and putting it back.
Well, I think at the end of the day when the rubber hits the road,
7 p.m. after dinner when you clean up.
Yeah, I think it's important to have something in your life that's not work.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people that they don't have that.
People have no hobbies.
It's like what? I mean, you probably work with people that like they go to work. They're
really boring.
They go home. They watch TV as it comes on, whatever's on. They take a shower, go to bed, get up in the morning.
I don't understand that life.
I think it's something that Laura's struggling with. I'll be honest. Like I think that the past 12 years of her life have been pretty much devoted to either carrying, or nurturing children.
Mm-hmm.
And we're moving out of that phase.
Right.
And there's less work required on that. And I think she's scrambling a bit to kind of find her, like, who am I? What do I do? I haven't done anything for myself in 12 years.
I'm not speaking for women because obviously I'm not one, but I can see that across the board happening. Yeah.
I mean, that's why a lot of moms get real freaked out when the kids move out to college and stuff, and they become like, oh, what now?
Yeah.
But so your wife is not a boring person. She has interest, and she's looking into things.
Yeah, but I think that's an attempt. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, it's plans this and this that. Like it was like I think she's trying to find.
Yeah, which is good because some people don't.
Yeah,
like I have coworkers who like
do in the kitchen, like redo it, like paint.
it looks fucking great.
It does, but I'm telling you, that is to me, it's all symptoms of the same problem she's trying to fix.
Yeah, I mean, but she is doing things. Like I said, I have coworkers who are like, I don't know what I'd do if I didn't work. I'm like, you're all day like, and this weekend's gonna be boring. And in my mind, I just cannot wrap it around. I'm like, no, the weekend is not boring. You're boring.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're right. All right. Last.
And one more thing. I just want to make sure to get the point correct. I'm not saying pick things over people. I'm not saying pick buying figures over having a fiance. I'm saying it's the fundamental issue of it. It's the person. Like you're not getting along personality wise. There's something fundamentally that you're clashing. It's not the objects themselves. You don't have to buy toys. It's the fact that she hates something that you love.
Yeah. 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 I agree.
And that's an issue.
I agree. I hope that didn't bum you out, Keith.
Sorry.
But to add on to that, if you weren't collecting, whatever the reason she doesn't like it, if you bought a bunch of guns and camouflage shit and went hunting every weekend, or you bought $10,000 worth of golf clubs and went and played golf every weekend, or you had a yard full of cars that you're, quote, gonna fix up someday.
Right.
I mean, and I know all of those people. Sometimes it's the same person. God bless their their family situation.
Also, with that situation, I worry about years down the road with you build a resentment of what I give up.
Yeah, you got to find the middle of that. What the middle of that is.
And because I'm sure they're like.
And those Longaberger baskets of hers are going to be worth a fortune someday.
If you are a man, you are being asked at some level to do something that you're not 100% on board with to make the day go by well.
Fair.
At some point during 365 days.
Yes.
So it's okay for you to have that too.
Yeah.
So last question. Hey gang, I hope all is well. This is from our good friend James G. He says, got a little question and maybe a small holiday rapid fire. Question with third-party Transformers seemingly on life support.
I forgot that was a thing.
How or what would you do if you were in charge? We're in a time of incomplete seasons, inconsistent scales, different timelines, etc. Like, dude, I think that I honestly don't even think. I think that they have created the characters that generate the revenue. I think that's the problem.
This hole's missing, but
people don't love the B and C list and tier characters the way that I do. Where I'm like, no, this is not complete until we get a fucking 2 tubes. You know what I mean? I'm like, who's not making the 2 tubes? Which one of you fucking mentally ridiculous motherfuckers is not making a 2 tube?
I thought of you when I was watching Rebels because 2 tubes.
Yeah. But that's not where the money is. It's where my money is.
Yeah.
But I'm a small and
exactly. There's still some, but not enough to be worth their while.
Correct.
Honestly, I think for these core, let's talk about Transformers third party. These characters that you need to. Who's left in? Is there anybody left in season 1 that hasn't been made?
No.
Okay. Well,
season 1's done.
Season 2, there's
Defensor.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Is that it? Really? Okay.
So here's this smart thing Hasbro is doing. Whether they intend to or not.
Hold on.
With the Earth Siege stuff,
Earth Siege,
whatever it is,
Kings of Earth Siege.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Earthrise.
Earthrise.
Yeah.
Their figures look exactly like. You don't need a third party, right? You don't need to look out anywhere. And with old stuff done with third party, they're not making new materials anymore for third parties to bite into because they're making their own material now.
Yep.
And with the action figure shit that looks like G1, that's filling a hole, so to speak, in people too. They're intelligently edging third party out without fucking licensing.
Yep.
That's fucking smart of them.
Yeah, that's what they did.
There's no more new comics because not Dreamwave, IDW, and had their shit.
So that's the point. Is look at the chug stuff that has survived. MMC, Planet X.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it.
Because that's the only 2 that they haven't edged out.
Yep.
The
War for Cybertron games and IDW comics.
I have been adamantly saying third party can be stopped by Hasbro any day of the week.
Yep.
They just have to make what people want.
Yep.
And they did. The problem is that Masterpiece is expensive. So there's a lot of people that don't. I mean, I've bumped into people all the times that are like, every now and then I bump into somebody that's like me. That's like, I want seasons 1 through 4, top to bottom. But oftentimes I run into people that say, no, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2 in the movie, just season 1, just combiners, just like it's a lot of little rules that people put on the, you know what I mean, that construct for themselves.
It becomes too big and too much money, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, and people have to really ask themselves, like, to me, it's not about the characters necessarily, the completion wise. It's that as a kid there were so many of them, and I always wanted a complete collection,
right?
And I never had it, and that's what I think I'm chasing. But like, if you were to sit me down in this fucking chair and say, Bobby, is Groove, who forms the leg out of scale motorcycle of Defensor, worth $100 to you? I'd say no. Absolutely not. But if you sit me down within the context and confines of what I'm doing, it's worth $200 at least, because 1 for combine, 1 for bot. And arguably, possibly, if I had the space, 3 for the vehicle. You know what I mean? So like, it's tricky, and I think that people that feel that way, it's very, very few. Like, I think they could probably make a whole new scale somewhere between Legends and Chug, or Chug and Masterpiece, or Masterpiece in the next biggest size, and start over and have more success with that Optimus Prime. I was just I was talking to you guys last night. Like, somebody sent me the picture of like all the Hallmark ornaments, and they did the 6, and the Jazz. But it's like, that's where the money is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, if you're like, how do I save third party? Convince people to buy it. Like you got to make the characters that people want to buy, and most people don't want to buy all the shit that we do. When I say we, I'm speaking for people listening and that want that. He said, rapid fire. Remember, you don't have to explain yourselves, but it's awesome if you do. Destro, Chrome mask or Gold Iron Grenader mask?
Chrome.
Favorite Megatron alt mode?
Gun.
Tank.
So probably gun, but I really like the tank too, because I think the tank is more threatening.
Yes.
Because in my head, I know he floated and shot sometimes, but in my head, it's like
Starstream grabbing him on the
table. When nobody's around, Megatron's alt mode is. But at the same time, why? If you were Megatron, why would you ever transform?
No, you wouldn't.
You have a fusion cannon on your arm, and you can fucking fly.
The same thing.
There's no reason to transform.
The same thing the gun does, your arm does.
Yeah.
And this is more powerful when you turn it
into
tank form.
Although the gun is the sight, your gun on your arm is the sight for the gun.
And maybe in the 80s,
I wish he could have swung that thing around and swung it around,
so
and
to
shot.
speak. But yeah. Maybe in the 80s you could have transformed as a gun and hidden in plain sight.
Yeah.
But now the fucking SWAT team's coming.
Yeah.
Where's this orange barrel?
Yeah, it's
like
when,
Megatron transformed to a gun at a school.
Oh no. It's like the Seekers transform into planes because they fly faster than the regular mode. So I assume like a tank mode will be more powerful shot than the arm mode.
Yeah, and there's some like crushing abilities as well, and fictional character you think too many people like for all the wrong reasons, or a character you think doesn't get a lot of love that should.
Deadpool, both those answers. One in the old days and one now. In the old days, he didn't get enough love. Now it's just fuck you.
I think I might
ruin Deadpool.
I don't know. You might be able to answer both those with Bubba Fett.
Yeah, yeah. That too.
Bubba.
I think my first one would be Mandalorian, and my second one would be Kylo Ren.
Dude, like I said, I was putting my Majic cases yesterday. It's such a conflicting feeling inside me.
I know,
Once I was completing, with how much Deadpool shit I have. When I because the paper was up because I didn't want to scratch it, so I took all the papers down and I looked at my entire Majic case of Deadpools, and I'm like, man, this is awesome, and man, I just hateful. Like I don't know how to feel right now about my Deadpool collection.
Yeah,
it's a love-hate thing.
Maybe you could kind of Inception it, and you could put your nuts on it instead of him putting his nuts on everything. You can be a member of any team of any property. What is it?
Any member, like any existing member of any team?
Yeah. No. I think you are joining the team.
Oh. Which team I want to join?
Yeah.
This is a tough one. There's a lot.
Yeah. So here's
Cobra has benefits.
right.
Well, they have. You can move up the ladder.
Promotional opportunities.
as we've discussed.
like on one side, I'm like, so like the thought that instantly came to mind is the Bat Family because I know we're always going to win.
But you might not.
But I might not. Is what I thought after that.
Batman will always win.
Correct.
Not the Bat Family doesn't always win.
I think, and I don't know if I could work for that motherfucker, man. Like I have too much of a buck the system nature. I don't think I would fit in.
Is the Empire considered a team?
Yeah.
I'm joining the Empire. I'll figure it out.
I think I would join the X-Men.
I don't know. Solo did, and he did not had a good time. They sent him to a muddy planet and getting shot up.
I think I would join the X-Men or the Huxtables for the
for the same reason.
for the same reason. I feel like
For the mansion?
they would finally give
I
you.
didn't know we're using sitcom families.
They'd finally give you a good family.
Jesus.
Oh, I would join the team of friends to try to make it funny.
Fair.
I'll get some hate for that one.
Okay, pancakes. Thick and fluffy or thin?
Thick and fluffy.
Thick and fluffy.
Jiggly.
Jigglypuff.
Dude, have you not had the Jiggly pancake? Oh, you probably, I'm sure. You heard of the Jiggly pancakes? It's like basically souffle in a pancake form. It's a Japanese thing, obviously.
Okay.
It's amazing.
I'm sure it'd be
it's
good.
fucking
Never had it before.
amazing.
Your favorite show or music for background noise? So
I'm just,
Nerd Rage Radio.
yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm probably just throwing on. I mean, a lot of the time, it's if I just something I want background, I'll throw on something Star Wars, whether it's music or if it's I'll just pop up something on Disney's. And Disney Plus has made it so fucking easy to watch that. You know, you just click a button and go.
yeah,
That's been different in different times in my life.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was while I was watching like Fight Club on repeat. It was while I was watching Matrix on repeat. Back when it was DVD days, they would just keep playing the same movies.
Yeah.
Now,
Or
YouTube will take you some interesting places by itself.
So I can do YouTube. I can do YouTube
Yeah.
for background
I do
noise.
Some crazy rabbit hole.
I can also more often than not, it's music.
Oh, again.
what does that say?
Hold on one second. Check. I don't know. Just did something weird. Let me check that. Check. Yeah. So more often than not, I will put on scores if I'm working on something and just want background
Oh
music.
yeah, I do. When we used to listen to like Star Wars music,
Yeah.
working on Star Wars Diorama, that was good
Yeah,
times.
yeah. Or like I'll do the same thing with Marvel Legends. I'd put on like superhero music or whatever. I'll also do. I'll also do just regular music to have on in the background. If I'm doing a show or a movie, it's usually an animated series like X-Men, Batman.
Batman's great for that.
Yeah, like just to have on them, and like you can take 20 seconds and like look and be like, that was a cool part, and get back to what you were doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, the problem is you don't want something too interesting where you just
Correct.
fucking stop what
Correct.
you're doing.
Yeah.
Correct.
I think a lot of the time documentaries are good to watch as background noise for me because
Yes,
it's
I
mostly
agree.
just talking.
Yeah, you can just
you
listen.
can look at the screen if you want, but most of it's explained.
You have 18 hours with the entire Lord of the Ring sixology.
Yes,
I have done that on
and
stream.
and the commentaries on that. Like I love listening to a commentary for background noise as well.
That's
I've
my
never
plane rides to
done
Japan. The Lord of the Rings trilogy gets me to Japan and back.
Oh yeah. Say you're listening to the car radio. Name your song you'll always listen to.
I don't remember the last time I did that.
Ride Like the Wind by Christopher Cross.
Helena by Chemical Romance.
I mean, so many. I don't
Just
even
pick
know.
one, Bobby.
Welcome to the party by Pop Smoke.
Well, of course.
It's a class. Instant
Did you not
classic.
get?
Yeah, I'm not stopping. I'm not turning that off. A movie you saw probably way earlier than you were ready for.
Oh, I've seen a lot of porn starting at 4 years old.
So I'll tell you the one. I have I don't know what the name of it is, and I would appreciate any listeners telling me. There is a movie. I'm pretty sure Charles Bronson was in it. Mr. Majestic.
The Death Wish guy?
Yeah, where there was either he or a woman had some dude in a robe, and his legs were spread, and she had like shears, like you're going to trim something like a bush outside, and was asking him a series of questions, and if he wasn't answering sincerely or honestly, she was snipping his nuts, like making cuts on his nuts. And I watched it at a very young age.
That sounds like a Death Wish movie.
And I remember my stomach turning, like inside while watching it. Like, this is not okay. This is torture. Yeah, that's probably
I have a similar memory, but I also can't tell you what it's from. It involved they were going to slice someone from all the way down,
top to bottom?
top to bottom. But I don't know what it was from. But that because I'll be honest, I was pretty well sheltered from things like that as a child.
So I know my answers. Like I said, I watched porn since a really young age, but I was ready for it. Like at 4 years, I'm like, oh, I want ladies. I knew that.
Yeah, me too. I wasn't watching porn that early, but I knew I wanted ladies. As soon as I saw Evil Lynn, I was in Slave Leia.
I was wiping boogers on blocks, so I didn't know what's going on.
It was
And Becky Clown's underwear in kindergarten.
It was Faces of Death. I wasn't ready to see real people die like that. I watched it.
Yeah,
I watched them.
remember
I had the tapes.
Yeah. I remember seeing that and feeling like this is not right.
It's not okay.
Yeah,
Like there was a guy who was on fire, and there was like a kid that got like fucking
No,
plowed by a train.
that was a Disney I watched that movie. It wasn't-
What?
Man on Fire.
I think that's
But
different.
yeah, that was because like you've seen these same things in movies, but no, like knowing the real, like that definitely did something to me
Yeah.
at that time. I was too young for that. I'm not sure if anyone's actually ever ready to just sit down and watch that shit.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
prefer Duracells.
Copper top.
All right. Probably just for Joe, but other host guests are welcome to weigh in. Crossbone Gundams, Peacock Smasher, or the Unicorn Gundams Beam Magnum.
The B Magnum is fucking great, but it's like a 6-shot. Who in the future would like use a one magazine, 1-shot system? So I'll say Crossbones.
All right. I'm gonna go with Magnum.
So this Magnum is like incredible. 1 shot will take down a spaceship, but like he has to reload a
like
entire clip,
like a Civil War weapon.
Yeah, per shot.
Yeah, that's
And
you
then
imagine?
if you missed,
Dude, I think about that sometimes. You ever stop thinking about that? Like just, you're gonna get it.
and they
You're gonna get it.
well. That's why.
Oh, you motherfucker! Like,
and then you miss, and then what?
Right, because
start
they're
over.
Well, there's a line of guys in front of you that shot, and I guess what do they run behind? And
yeah.
And the guy's coming at you with a bayonet, and you fucking missed him.
Yeah.
Whew.
Phrase or saying your kids brought home that you can't stand. He says, my 10-year-old son keeps saying, I like your cut, G.
dude,
Oh
same,
my God.
same.
Really?
Yes.
What, your 10-year-old?
That is something.
I mean, your
that,
kid? Your young
that
one?
Charlie's been. It's something like somebody had just gotten a haircut, and this guy put like rubbing alcohol on his. I like your cut, G, and then slaps the back of the dude's neck. My daughter was saying something the other day. She's like, it's like not okay, girl, but something like that. It was just really annoying.
I hate. My kids always are constantly calling each other and fighting over who is more of a Karen,
Okay.
and it drives me nuts.
And there's something that
you know what? That makes both of you Karens.
Yeah, I agree.
something that came into my household, and I'm not sure where it is, but my kids call each other P baby. I don't know.
And
I think it's funny, but
my
they
kids
probably shouldn't say
also
it.
say triggered, and it doesn't bother me, but it bothers my wife. Like they'd be like, "But why are you so triggered right now?" And my wife be like, "Stop saying triggered." I don't know why, but it bothers her. Syrup, real or store bought?
What is real?
Like maple
homemade?
syrup.
So that's what I'm guessing he means is like maple syrup, like this authentic, real fucking.
I'm good with the
You can
Buttersworth.
just just coke down like some simple syrup with sugar and water.
I'm a log cabin kind of guy.
I'm good with
There you go.
any syrup, basically.
Console wars, Sega or SNES?
This is a tough one, man.
It is.
It's very tough because, like, I think objectively, SNES wins.
Yes,
But like,
but
Genesis
I was
has
a
some
Genesis
good-
kid.
Sega.
I was a Genesis kid.
Yeah,
Like,
me too. I was a Genesis.
You know, it seemed like it had an edge.
It did, and that
It's
was the
black. The fucking boomerang controller.
yeah.
It's just more
So
cooler.
there's a documentary about video games that was on Netflix, and literally their marketing campaign was Nintendo's very family oriented. Nah, we're going the other direction with this, and that was literally
it
what they
worked.
did.
And it's still the same now. Nintendo has like taken it, but like we're the family system, we're the fun portable one. Our hardware isn't great, but it's fun and cheaper.
Correct.
And then they have that niche of the market, and then everyone else is Xbox and PlayStation fighting over it.
What's your grandma or side grandma called you when you're in trouble?
Dude, my side grandma fell, not fell. She fell the other day, a month ago, whatever. Like this past weekend, she fainted apparently, and then my parents had to go. Anyway, I'm sorry.
What was the question again?
What your grandma or side grandma called you when you were in trouble? Examples: full name, nickname, cuss word, or
My real grandma, my one true grandma, calls me my full name when I was in trouble.
My grandma I'm not sure if I was ever in trouble.
I was
with
just
her.
thinking the same thing. I mean, I don't remember getting in trouble with my grandparents.
Now, I know I heard her once. And it's like that's another one of those things. Like whenever I think about it, I get hot inside. But like I forged a report card one time, and my dad knew, and my grandma fought for me and said I didn't, and then asked me like, "Did you forge this?" It was on Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
It was on Christmas Day, and I looked her in her eyes and said no. And when she found, it was like, and my dad was like, "But that he forged it," and she was like, "No, but he told." And then you could see it in her eyes when she looked at me, like, "No, you told me that
on
you didn't.
Christmas.
You told me that you didn't," and I felt like a fucking bum. But I don't know if I was ever in trouble with her. Like, she would probably call me Bob if she wanted to be serious. Because I was usually Bobby and my dad was Bob, and my dad called me Robert, or but not when he was mad, just like generally like Robert, or I was the young lad. You know, me and the young lad are gonna go up to. So, you know what I mean? That was.
It's my true grandma raised me a lot, so I had to get in trouble. Like, you know, my parents were around.
Oh, mine did too. She probably should have put me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And
she wasn't good at it. She was just good at being loving. Let's see. Shit, dude. All right. Alcohol of choice. Mine is Cab nowadays. It used to be Belvedere vodka, and before that, it was Crown.
Jameson.
There you go.
I don't drink.
In any form or
Oh
fashion.
yeah, you don't drink.
I mean,
What was it when you did drink?
Mad Dog
Mad
2020.
Dog. I was going to say
He knew that. He knows me.
Boons. You ever drink Boons?
No. The blue Mad Dog, bro.
It's midnight. What's your late night snack?
Bowl of cereal.
Ooh, that's a good one. So ice cream. Ice
Cinnamon
cream is
toast.
probably mine.
See, I would have had the ice cream at 9.
Yeah.
Half a cake.
Half a cake.
Seriously.
Dream car / vehicle. I'm not really.
Mitsubishi 3000 GT in mint condition.
Dream vehicle, like
You can't find
mine
them
would be a 1996 Nissan 300 ZX twin turbo T-tops.
One of us is from the South.
What's that got to do with being from the South?
They love cars down there.
But that's that's a racer.
Huh?
Yeah, we have roads to ride them on. I mean, I guess so. It's probably also a California answer.
Yes, probably.
It's everywhere but the
Northeast.
the DMV.
Do you fit into that?
I could fit into
You could fit into it.
I,
But,
in
the problem with
in
like
slimmer days. More a realistic vehicle. Like if I could go buy anything right now, I would probably go buy a brand new Dodge Ram pickup.
it's like with the cars we were talking about, the 90s car that we love. Like in my late 20s, I'm like, when I could afford them, I could get one now, but you know, I shouldn't waste the money. But now it's like I could get one, but you just can't. It's just too old. They're too old. You can't find one in good condition.
Well, that's why I said
anymore.
96 because it's
Because it's mint. Yes.
It's OBD2, not OBD1, so you can still plug in and do diagnostics. I've thought about all this,
Wow.
but it's
But
it's hardly
how are you
unrealistic.
you're gonna replace parts like
I don't even know if I can get it up my driveway.
exactly.
What,
Realistically,
a Rolls Royce is usually comes with a driver, right?
no, it has an umbrella in the door, but you have to pay somebody to drive your ass around.
That's the one I want.
You want a Batmobile, Bobby?
I mean, I'd love a Batmobile, but like it's not going to fit in the garage.
Tumbler?
Then I'm Tumbler. Then I'm going to have to go out and scrape the snow off
Does
of
it
it.
come
and
in
shit.
black?
It should have its own robot windshield wiper thing as a Batmobile.
All you gotta do is get one of those underground things, like in get
Oh,
your
I was thinking
shipping
about it, like,
container.
where do I take it for maintenance? Something like it sounds like a fucking headache.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, where a fucking jet engine in there, motherfucker. I thought you wanted the turtle van with the nunchucks.
Oh, yeah, that's the one. Never mind. That's the
There you go.
answer.
That's the one you want.
Or something that comes with the driver. Because I like to do other stuff in the car, like just draw or something. Let's see here. Have you ever told a family member their food was trash? Absolutely. I told my mom. I told my wife. I'd be like, this didn't work.
I've told my wife, most of the time she knows. She's like,
Yeah.
this isn't good. I'm like, yep,
Yeah.
sorry.
Tomato soup side, grilled cheese or saltines? Grilled cheese.
Grilled cheese if it's available. But if you just got the microwave and a sleeve of crackers, I'm gonna get down too.
I don't eat tomato soup, but I did have grilled cheese last week.
Oh yeah, you got a thing with tomatoes. Like
Yeah.
'cause you don't like tomatoes. You don't like tomatoes, but you like tomato sauce.
I like tomato byproducts,
Okay.
like pizza sauce.
Right.
Just no chunks of tomato. But tomato soup is just basically pureed tomatoes, and that's fucking gross.
He said oyster crackers are trash. I actually quite enjoy an oyster cracker.
I like oyster crackers, but like they're better crackers.
I like a handful of oyster crackers. You know what I mean? Like I'll crush a bag of oyster crackers. Favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger role?
Oh,
Oh wow.
there's so many to pick from.
Yeah.
How about Governor of California? That's crazy to think about.
I'm gonna guess
Less crazy than Jesse Ventura.
But
and Kanye
less,
West.
but less crazy than Donald Trump as president.
Yeah.
Let me think.
I mean, Terminator's pretty fucking iconic.
Yeah, I
man.
think Terminator's probably the right answer. I really like him in Twins.
I think he's good in Twin. I like
Kindergarten Cop?
Cop. Good.
He's great in that. I
Not
love
a tumor.
I love to hate him as
Predator.
Mr. Freeze. You know, like
I mean, he had such a hot streak in the 80s and 90s. It's every summer you got a Schwarzenegger movie.
yeah.
Jingle All the Way.
Oh yeah, I
Tis the
forgot
season.
Jingle All the Way. Yeah, it's in the watching now.
Favorite gift you've given?
Beaded seat cover.
Hold
I don't know.
Which
How
is
about
currently in service?
how about the gift of life to my children?
Oh my god.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's it.
So I am going to show you. I'm going to get a live reaction. So I would have said prior to today that piece of glass that I got from my wife's table.
Yeah.
However, I'm getting a gift for Robert D this year, and it's the best gift I've ever given.
Oh.
Christopher's getting a view look first.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah. At some point.
Yo.
I can't wait.
Actually, I enjoyed putting together that for Mason's birthday year before last. I put him together that Miles from the Spider-Verse, the figure, and had Tyler do the box art and made a box. It was just cool to put it all together.
I'm actually pretty happy with the gift I'm giving you this Christmas. Yours is kind of actually, to be fair, it's both gag.
Okay, good.
Yours is kind of a gag gift too. Because you already got the Nerve Rage.
Yeah.
Sure.
But like yours is kind of one of those like careful what you ask for.
Oh God.
Just like your beat
Yeah,
it.
he deserved it.
Okay,
And,
that's fair.
And yours is like multi-layered. I can't wait.
Well, I got you both tools, something practical, so
Well,
something you'll be able to use.
I ain't getting y'all dick, and I don't feel bad about it.
That's fine.
So yours,
You guys, hey, if you know me well enough to be my friend, you know you're not getting shit.
fine.
yours going to be able to. You're going to be able to use yours. It's multifaceted.
I'm scared to death of
It's
this.
multifaceted.
I'm scared.
And best gift you've ever received.
Oh, the gift of life from my parents. I'm kidding. It's best gift I've ever received. I mean, that time my wife bought me a Lexus and it was in the driveway with a bow on it. I'm kidding, I didn't.
I'm trying to remember.
My wife has kind of been nailing it recently, but like, she's gotten a lot of stuff for me where I'm like, God damn, I can't believe you did this and you did it, type of things. But yeah, I can't. I don't know if I could pick just one.
Yeah,
I'd say I'm super hard to buy for because
So
I buy
you
shit
by
when I want.
yourself.
Yep.
Stuff
Yeah,
like
and Kelly and I have kind of come to the conclusion with, we actually, we said, hey, let's get each other something for Christmas. And as of right now, neither of us have really gotten each other anything. I mean, like, do you want to buy like a new tool together? What do you want? And we've basically come to the conclusion that we bought a couple little things, like we're going to let the, from the kids and shit. But
that's the thing with like mandatory gift giving is like a fucking chore and doesn't make sense. Like you're doing it just to do it at this point, right?
oh, I have an update. Remember,
No.
I mean, for him.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying like you're doing it
Right.
just to do it.
Yeah.
right? So I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, or maybe been about a month ago, that one of his friends had bought everybody a gift. And
Yes.
Now so Mason kind of scrambled around and figured out, okay, something for this person. And he had dropped in their group chat, hey, I just want to let you know, guys, sorry if these are a little lackluster, funds are a little tight this year. Well, like the next day, he said somebody's like, I haven't had time to get anybody anything yet. Sorry. Another girl's like, I don't think I'm going to be able to pull anything off. So he's like, well, it's like, well, just take the shit and give it to him. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a lesson about giving and not expecting.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there's a life lesson there.
But the thing was he was giving because he felt obligated
Correct.
to give.
Yeah,
It's not because he
Correct.
thought about it.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, and I'm comfortable to continue getting you things for Christmas, Joe. You've given me my friendship gift, so I'm my box is checked.
It's run out by now.
By the way,
I'm saying,
no.
if you divide whatever it is by the years, it's not worth much.
My
No. It's $20 gift.
My voucher expires this year, so I'm need if you could give me another voucher for a 3D printer. I noticed it was expiring. Brofest will need.
He never used it. It's expiring.
He never has used his Brofest.
No, it's going to expire.
I think Joe used yours.
COVID extension.
Yeah, there should be some little bit of COVID giveaway there.
There you go. There you go.
So, lastly, before we close up, and we're getting ready to close up, next
computer's
week,
ready to fucking close
yeah,
up.
for sure. Next week, everybody's going to be the greatest hits, so don't expect a new episode.
I'm looking forward to the greatest hits.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. It's good. I listened to it. I'm going to listen to it again. But I want to ask you two gentlemen something to think about, and I'm going to ask the listeners as well, and to post the comments or DM or whatever to get that to us. When we come back in 2 weeks, we'll address it. But what is this show? Like, you're publishing this show, and you have to click a drop-down box and pick a
Variety show.
A topic?
a genre. No, don't answer now. I want you to think about it. Because I've been thinking about it, and I'm not sure if I had the right answer, but I have an interesting answer.
Okay.
But I was thinking about it in terms of like how to market and brand this show, because like listening back to the greatest hits, and I've been dumping my ears, just fucking pouring Nerd Rage into it over the past 2 months, in order to do this.
Well, you were keeping up with it, right, Bobby?
I'll never do it again, Joe. I'll never fall behind again. This show is funny as fuck, and it's when we're together, it's, in my opinion, the best it's ever been. But I don't know what it is. And I don't
put me in a box.
I don't know how to market it.
It's weird because variety show is what we are kind of, but not really, because our variety is not everything variety.
So I have an opinion, and I think we're the first of something.
Oh boy!
Mm-hmm.
Well,
but I'm going to give it in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Shout out to the rest of the cool table. We're running low. My computer's dying, and shout out to everybody involved in Nerd Rage. Love you guys, and with that,
Flappalibius.
tasty taint.
tight dick player.